Are we live? Looks like we're live. eBay earnings, ladies and gentlemen. eBay earnings coming up here in about 45 minutes. eBay's trading at 108 right now. Triple topped off like 117-ish. So price action wise, that's not great, but the stocks, we'll see what happens with earnings. We'll see what happens with earnings. Maybe it doesn't move because it's still waiting on what's going to happen for the acquisition. That's definitely probably the most probable outcome, but it also could move on earnings. Who knows? Who knows? What's eBay's like daily volume? 3 million, 4 million, 2 million. They don't have much volume. Not a ton of volume. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, I did find something to talk about for a second. Or something to research on, I guess. Yeah. What's happening? There we go. So if we go to 8K, I believe, and we go all the way back to 2025, when the bonds first got introduced. I think it's this one. I believe it's this one. Yeah, this is one of them. Where's the filing? Is it gonna load? Oops. What is going on with this? Where's the press release that comes with it? What's up, KCR? Hope you're doing good, bro. Hope you're doing well. Where is it? It's this. It's not this. Is it this? Might be this. And then we type in conversion rates. I think this is what I typed in. This might not be the correct thing. Let's see. Subject to and upon compliance with provisions of this Article 14, each holder of a note shall have the right, as such holder's option, to convert all or any portion of such note, subject to satisfied conditions. March 15th, prior to close of business. $4. Prior to the close of business, immediately March 15th. So the initial conversion rate of 34.5. Isn't in that? I don't remember how much this bond is. 2.25? Something like that. I think it's that. I think it might be more, but I don't remember. I don't think this is accurate math here, though. 65 million shares. I think that's about right. Because if you did 34 times 32, that'd be... I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do math. All right. At least I don't know what I'm doing there. Let's see. Where's the thing? Here it is. I think GME will do good over the next few years. I expected it to be up sooner, though, if I can bear the waiting. I mean, I've never had the expectation that the stock was up, personally, or was going to go up. Like, there's been moments, but short-term price action's hard to predict. If they do another equity exchange, the stock's not moving, bro. They could send it lower. They have 2 more debt exchanges they could do at 1.4 billion. They could drop this another. They could drop this to like 5-6 billion market cap. You'd be sitting at like, I think like 650-ish million in shares. Divided by 6. Oh wait, I did that math backwards. 6 billion. I don't know if they'll do that, but they could. They could keep this stock low for a really long time, but it doesn't matter. If you're a real investor, the stock being down doesn't matter. You just get to buy more for cheap. If you are excited to buy shares at 20, 25 bucks, you should be way more excited now. Increased conversion rate applicable to certain notes surrendered in connection with make-whole fundamental changes or notice of redemption. If the effective date of a make-whole fundamental change occurs prior to the maturity date and a holder elects to convert its notes in connection with such make-whole fundamental change, company delivers a notice of redemption as provided section 16. What's that? Make-whole fundamental change. Probably shouldn't be losing my spot. Constitutes a fundamental change. Yeah, maybe this isn't relevant. Maybe this isn't relevant. I'll just skim through it then. I won't read it all. Surrender for conversion by universe additional shares. As described below, a conversion of notes shall be deemed for these purposes, including the effective date of the make-whole fundamental, including business day immediately, blah, blah, blah. Definition of the 35th trading day immediately following the effective date. A conversion of notes shall be deemed for these purposes in connection with a notice of redemption if such notes are called notes. The company elects to redeem fewer than all the outstanding notes. No. Upon surrender of notes for conversion in connection with make-whole fundamental change. Property following make-whole fundamental change. Any conversion. Yep. The number of additional shares, if any, by which the conversion rate shall be increased for conversions in connection with a fundamental change. Notice redemption shall be determined by reference to the table below. Per share, let's see. As the case may be, effective date and the price, or deemed to be paid per share. Common stock, make fundamental change. The stock price shall be cash amount paid per share. Stock price shall be the average of the last reported sales, 5 consecutive trading days, immediately preceding the conversion called note. So yeah, I think this is different. I think this is for something different. Whether converted shall be entitled in a single increase in conversion rate with respect to the first occurred. Stock price set forth. Adjusted stock price shall equal the stock price as applicable immediately prior to such adjustment multiplied by a fraction, the numerator of which the conversion immediately is. Number of additional shares. Doesn't change the fact that long term it's still a good bet, in my opinion, of course. I agree. It was never really about the short term. Obviously, you know, hindsight, maybe going all in was stupid, but who cares? I'm glad you're keeping it real these days. Gme was a garbage investment. You must have watched like 10 seconds of the video. Maybe try watching the whole video before you think I'm like agreeing with you. Because if you think GameStop's a terrible investment, you're probably an idiot. You probably just don't have the patience to wait. You probably watched the first 10 seconds of the video I posted and oh, finally. Maybe try watching the whole video. You know? If your goldfish brain can allow that, maybe try watching the whole video. If the stock price is between the two stock prices in the table above, or the effective date is between two effective dates in the table, number of additional shares by which the conversion rate shall be increased shall be determined by a straight line interpolation between the number of additional shares set forth for the higher and lower stock price and earlier or later effective date. If the stock price is greater than 120 a share, no additional shares shall be added to the conversion rate. And if the stock is less than 21.82 per share, no additional shares shall be added to the conversion rate. So maybe this is relevant. The foregoing in no event shall the conversion rate per 1,000 principal amount of notes exceed $45 or 45 shares of common stock. Shall the conversion rate per 1,000? What's 40? 45.1. Oh wait, we got to do 1,000 divided by that. Whoops. 1,000 divided by 45.16. 2214. Wait, so that's super interesting. In no event shall the conversion rate per 1,000 principal amount of notes exceed 45.1671 shares of common stock, subject to the adjustment of the same manner onto the conversion rate. So even if I don't know if this is relevant, but if this is relevant, even if the stock is trading at $19, $20 for the 35-day VWAP, potentially they're only going to get 45.16 shares no matter what. In no event shall the conversion rate per 1,000 principal amount of notes exceed 45. So I just don't know if it's relevant in the case of the debt exchange. I didn't go all in. I kept money on the sidelines, but I had to buy a car because the new job didn't provide one. I clapped my cash buffer alongside a big tax bill. 1.5K in taxes for a second-hand car. The tax bill arrived about a month after the purchase. What the fuck? We don't do that in America. That's interesting. Usually, when you buy a car in America, the taxes are already added to the price of the vehicle. That's pretty interesting. Well, it's not added to the price of the vehicle. They'll have the price on whatever website you're looking at, and then whenever you go buy it, they add the taxes to that price. That's weird that they that they send the taxes later. I've heard that before though. Some long time ago, I talked about some foreign viewer about this because they were talking about how cheap like cars and stuff were where they lived, but it's because the taxes are so high. Pretty interesting. That's Belgium for you. The conversion rate shall be adjusted from time to time by the company if any of the following events occur, except that the company shall not make adjustments to the conversion rate if the holders in the notes participate in a share split or tender or exchange offering. Does this count? I don't think this counts as an exchange offering, does it? I don't think it does. Maybe it does. I don't know if it does though. Oh shit. I forgot I was playing RuneScape. I never play RuneScape on stream. We're almost at 96 sailing. I've literally been no-lifing sailing for like 2 or 3 weeks. That tells you how my life's been going. Playing fucking RuneScape. Worst game ever. That should tell you how my life's going. Let's see. Upon the same terms as the holders of the common stock, they held a number of shares of common stock equal to the conversion rate multiplied by the principal amount. The company exclusively if the company exclusively issues shares of common stock as a dividend or distribution on shares of the common stock, or if the company effects a share split or share combination, the conversion rate shall be adjusted based on the following formula. Okay, so the conversion rate is going to change, I think, because you are issuing shares. I feel like it would be considered a distribution. Conversion rate is effective. Let's see. The number of shares of common stock outstanding immediately prior to the open of business on such ex-dividend date divided by the number of shares of common stock outstanding immediately after giving the effect. Okay, number of shares of common stock outstanding immediately prior to the open of business. So, I mean, I'm just going to use rough estimates because I don't exactly know. 448 million, 448 million. Is this right? CR1 equals CR0 times conversion rate in effect immediately after the open of business. Oh wait, conversion rate in effect immediately prior to the open of business. I don't fucking know. I don't think I'm doing this right. Am I doing... Okay, I have to do the... So 448, we're issuing about 70 million shares. So 518 million divided by 448 million. That's 1.15. So the conversion rate is going to change by 1.15, I think. If that's right. I don't know if that's right. I think that's right though. Let's see. If the company distributes to all or substantially all holders of common stock any right, options, or warrants. Oh, so this already changed as well because of the warrants. Interesting, interesting. I never did that, so I don't know how much it changed. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. They deem the car as not as environmentally friendly as an electric one, so taxes go way up, saving the planet by taxing the poor that cannot afford an electric car. Ah, I see, I see. That's kind of whack. Cause aren't electric cars like pretty affordable now? I mean, I don't think I'd ever buy one, but I think they're relatively affordable now. You got me about to hop on RS3 now. RS3, baby. Good old RS3. I quit that game. I quit that game the day EOC came out. They ruined that game, sadly. I used to have a Santa hat, and I got rid of it, but I guess a Santa hat is worth like $2,000 in real money now, which is crazy. Break Nation! What's up, Break Nation? How you doing, man? That's a bigger percentage of cars are being bought electric. They're introducing a tax on those as well. They can't miss that income. That's whack. That sucks. That sucks. What's up, Miller? Project We Indenture, great file name. I was just looking through it because I saw this table. The make whole fundamental change table. And what's really interesting is the effective date. Can I blow this up? Holy shit, I blew that up. Alright, now I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am! Help me, help me! Where's the table? There it is. I lost it again. Son of a bitch. Son of a... Come on. Come on. Okay. Never mind then. Fuck, dude. I'm dying, chat. Let's see. I lost my spot. Where'd the table go? Where'd it go? What? How did I lose the table, man? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Where'd the table go? There it is. There she is. Alright, I figured it out now. So I'll do that, and then I'll do this, and then I'll come down here. And would you look at that? Can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that. June 17th, 2025 is the first date on this table. And wouldn't you know it, they offered the shares literally like like pennies, like a couple pennies below where they would have had to increase the conversion rate. Nobody's talking about this, by the way. All the real GameStop investors out there. Nobody's talking about this. Electric cars depends on the person. Prius, baby. What's up, John? John Jar Binks. I like that name. Misa John Jar Binks. I don't have predictions. I just buy the stock. And whatever happens, happens. Predictions are for wannabe traders and fake investors. I don't need to predict an investment I'm going to be in for the rest of my life. It just has to work out. But the only people who are trying to predict stuff are people trying to sell you a course or something. Real investors, I don't think we care. At least I don't. I can't speak for everyone else, but I don't care. My prediction is up, down, and sideways in no particular order. Just watched a crazy guy the other day trash talking you. He was mad as fuck. Really? Who? That's interesting. That's hilarious. That's awesome. They can trash talk all they want. I don't care. He was mad? Why? What is he mad about? I don't tell people to buy GameStop. I just talk about it. He said you're not invested. Oh. Well, that's okay. I have more shares than anyone in this GameStop community, so someone who says I'm not invested is realistically just telling you a lot about themselves. So, is what it is. Is what it is. I can't control what stupid people think. Can't control what little bros think. Little itty bitty bros. Little teensy weensy little bros. What's up, Fox? Nah, the earnings call doesn't start for like 20 more minutes, I think. Or, the earnings doesn't come out for 20 more minutes. The earnings call is a long ways away. The earnings call is starting super late, which sucks, but it is what it is. Battle Rat. What's up, Battle Rat? Who are we talking about? I have no clue. I have no clue. Somebody thinks I'm a fake investor, I guess, which good for them. Sailing, that's lit. I still have yet to do it, but looks fun. Sailing's okay. All I've been doing is salvaging, but the trials are kind of fun. I'm almost 100k XP away from 96. I've been no-lifing sailing. Literally just no-lifing it. I've been so bored the past like 2 or 3 weeks. This is all I've been doing. It's all I've been doing is sailing. Well, salvaging, I guess. Alright, is there anything else we need to read off this document? I think we got it. I think we got it. We got the idea. Is there anything else here? Well, there's all the formulas and stuff. I don't really want to go through all those. But pretty interesting. So, a lot of people are saying this is a stupid idea, whatever. Like, potentially paying or exchanging the debt early and under that $21.82 is more beneficial than letting it mature. And also, if that conversion rate thing was also true, where the conversion rate can't go over 45.16 shares or whatever, then even if the VWAP's at like 35 or 1920 in the 35 days, potentially the note holders are only getting 45 shares or 45.16, which is around, $22. So I'm very I'll be curious to see if they drop more information about it when it's done, September 23rd. I'll be curious to see. I'm guessing I'm on the higher end of GME holders, retail ones at least. Corey's one of the few I've seen actually has more shares than me. It's not that much more than me. I don't know. I've showed my stock account like 1,000,000 times on this. So if someone's saying I'm not a real investor, it's just because they don't pay attention. and they just like talking about me because they have like a crush on me or something, or they want to suck me off. I'm not really sure what it is. Not really sure. I've never had a secret admirer before, so not really not really sure how that works. Not really sure how a secret admirer works. Let's see. I'll need to level it up for the new quest that came out. I already did that. Dude, I got the holo fail on the first kill, which is crazy. Literally got the holo fail on the first kill. It's so stupid. It's so easy to get. They made that sword way too easy to get. I wonder what the price is at, actually. I haven't checked it. Last time I checked the holo fell, it was at like 4 million, I think. And I assume it's a lot lower than that because it's so easy to get. 3.6. Yeah, it's too easy to get. It's a pretty sick sword. It's really cool, but they just made it way too easy to get. Kitty! Why are you yelling, Kitty? Oh, Kitty! Go outside, Kitty. You're very annoying. Frickin' cat, bro. The frickin' cat. It's always meowing when I'm streaming. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. eBay is kind of ripping into the close. GameStop's selling off into the close. But I'm sure GameStop is just gonna not move. What is up with that eBay price action? Thing is just going straight up. Kind of interesting. Pamputo, what's up, Pamputo? It's been a while. Hope you're doing good. Early GZ, appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Ooh, I got some one dragon nail. Yippee. Those are worth quite a bit, but would have been better to get like 2 or 3. Oh, where am I going? Gotta sort all the salvage. Gotta sort the salvage. I'm late to the party and a little fish. 1645. I'm considering to YOLO up to 2,000 Friday though. However, I just want to keep collecting rather than cap it at 2,000. Do what's best for you, my friend. I'm gonna continue to buy forever. But, you know, obviously going all in wasn't a good idea. It's fun. You know, it's fun. It makes you feel alive. But clearly going all in wasn't the best idea, so do what's best for you. Do what's best for you, my friend. All I'm saying, you know, not financial advice. If I had extra money, I'd be fucking buying right now, but unfortunately, I'm all in at like 20, 25 bucks, so I'm screwed. But whenever I get an extra couple $100, couple $1,000, it'll definitely be going into the stock. Did I buy any eBay? I have 1 eBay share. Just 1. I just bought it for fun, because if the acquisition does go through and the stocks merge, potentially I'll have a fractional share of GameStop, which I think would be funny, or GM eBay, whatever. I just think that'd be funny, but yeah, I've only bought 1 share of eBay. Oops. 1 KC drops are always welcome. Yeah, I just wish the sword was harder to get. That's all. The sword should have been harder to get. Today's highlight reports say GameStop may pursue eBay Inc. Focus on deal potential, take over premium financing links to GameStop's 1.4 billion note for stock exchange and impact on eBay. All fine, but my money's going the wrong way. Oh, it's all good, Pamputo. That's why, that's why it's a 5, 10, 20 year investment. Because can't really predict what's going to happen in the short term. I don't think any of us predicted that the stock was, there's a lot of people who quote unquote predicted that the stock was going to drop, but the stock's not going down because it's bad. The stock's going down because they issued more equity to the market. Simple supply and demand. You add more supply, the stock, anything. Look at Destined Rivals. If you want a real world example, have you guys looked at Pokemon recently? Pokemon. Got to catch them all. You gotta motherfucking catch them all, chat. Alright? But when you were sitting on Destined Rivals boxes, you got clapped because they added more supply to the market. Whoa. I know. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. Look at that. About a month or two ago, Destined Rivals boxes were over $600. And then they announced a reprint. And look what happened. Simple supply and demand. It's very simple. Like, the people who, are talking about GameStop going down is, a negative thing. I don't think they understand supply and demand. The most simple economic thing in the world. A very simple, that's economics 101 right there. Supply and demand. Oh my god, I just spilled water everywhere. So, there's a real world example of supply and demand. I don't even know why I started talking about that, but why did I start talking about that? I don't know. Either way, the only reason GameStop's down is because they increased the supply in the market. Very simple economics. You increase supply, the demand stays the same, the price is going to go down. If the demand increased with the supply, the price wouldn't go down. But it's very simple economics. If you don't understand that, and you think GameStop's just going down because it's terrible or something like that, I would argue your intelligence. I would argue your intelligence. Bass Mechanic. What's up, Bass Mechanic? How you doing, man? Good to see ya. I just bought 500 more at 21, then goes down to 1850. It is what it is, man. You can't predict it. You can't predict short-term price action as much as people on Twitter and the internet want to make you think that you can. You can't. That's why that's why day trading is pretty valuable. Obviously, I don't day trade anymore. I just YOLO all my money into GameStop, so is what it is. But that's why day trading's valuable, because it's hard to predict short-term price action. It's hard to predict the market in general. You really never know what's going to happen. So as far as capital, I don't know the exact word, just protecting your capital, day trading is super valuable. But you just can't predict everything. And also, if you're in this investment for the next 5, 10, 20 years, there's no difference between $18 and $20 and $25 and $30. If you're looking out on a long enough time frame, it doesn't matter what price you're buying the stock at, realistically. Sure, you might miss out on some short-term gains, whatever, but if you're time horizons 5, 10, 20 years, you can't really lose. You can't really lose. I mean, you can. You definitely can. There's a lot of stocks that haven't moved or have gone down for 5, 10 years. Kraft Heinz. Like, it's possible, but I don't know. I don't know. Can you really judge yourself based on the decisions you made before with limited information? Just because you know more now or that it didn't play out as planned doesn't mean it went wrong. I think a wrong or bad decision is you knew better at the time and you did the bad thing anyway because it was easier or more convenient. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. FOMO, YOLO, who knows? But I think it's good to reflect on your mistakes, especially in trading, because trading is trading has a weird learning curve. So if you're not able to reflect on your decisions that you made in the market, you're not going to learn anything. Like good trades, bad trades, you need to reflect on all of it. And you need to reflect on your thinking, and you need to reflect on why you made the decisions, whatever. Like, I guess that's reflecting on your thinking, but I agree with you, you shouldn't judge yourself and like make yourself feel bad because of a bad decision, but if you want to be a better trader, a better investor, and a more knowledgeable investor, a more knowledgeable trader, and make better decisions in the future, you have to reflect on everything, good or bad. And bad is, in my opinion, better to reflect on than good. Most people just reflect on their winning trades. Not many people reflect on their bad trades because, a bad trade makes you feel like shit and you don't want to reflect on it. But that's where you learn the most. You learn the most through your mistakes and your bad decisions. So, is what it is. Hindsight's 2020, exactly. And also like let me put it this way. Well, I already said this, but if you're a long-term GameStop investor, you're in this investment for the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years, this doesn't matter. If you're a trader and you're upset with what happened with GameStop, you're just a bad trader. Like, I'm sorry. If you're just a trader and you were hoping to make money on GameStop because of a trade or whatever, you're just a bad trader. Like, why were you holding this position if you're just trying to trade and make money? If you're not invested in GameStop for the next 5, 10, 20 years, why are you trying to, like, swing trade it? GameStop's the easiest day trading stock I've ever seen in my fucking life. Why are you trying to swing trade it? That's all I'm going to say. Like, if you're a long-term investor, it just doesn't matter. But, like, if you're a short-term trader and you're upset about this, you need to look at yourself and, like, change your trading strategy. Dude, eBay's kind of ripping. Let's see. I bought one of eBay, sold it. I just thought it was funny to say I bought more eBay than their board. That is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. I'm in since 4 years. If I see DR, I'm scooping. That's legendary. But yeah, the reprint's killing the market. I mean, it's not really killing the market. It's just there's a lot of leverage, and the past 3 sets didn't just go straight up. So, there's a lot of people who put a lot of money on like Chaos Rising and Pitch Perfect, or it's Pitch Black, Perfect Order. A lot of a lot of people put money on those things, and now they're they're getting wrecked because they can't just immediately flip like they did with everything else. Yeah, sure, the reprints are killing Destined Rivals, but Destined Rivals will probably go back to being a valuable set in the next few years. It's probably one of the better opportunities in the Pokemon market. And also, everyone who didn't YOLO into Chaos Rising and Pitch Black and stuff like that, they all have their money waiting on the sidelines for Pokemon 30th. My pixel out on my... Okay, that was weird. I thought this was a pixel out right here. All right. Why aren't you writing covered calls like we discussed in December 2024? Because writing covered calls is stupid. If I wanted to make money, there was a ton of really good opportunities to make money. I don't need to waste my time selling covered calls. Selling options is like statistically, you have the highest percentage of winning, but the reason why you have the highest percentage of winning is because it doesn't pay anything. The stock price going up even like $1 or $2 is going to pay you way, way, way more than a stupid option, selling an option. So I think selling options is stupid, personally. If you want to make money, day trade. Why only GME? Because that's what I want to invest in. And I think diversification is dumb. Ryan has a big vision, needs a lot of money for it. I agree, you gotta always be reflecting. So what do you think was the mistake, getting caught up in the hype of it all? I think it's a good thing to think about, be clear on what your intentions are. Am I a trader or am I an investor? I agree, a lot of people didn't really understand that difference. I didn't at the time when I bought into GameStop. I didn't know anything about investing styles, time horizons, etc. Yeah. I mean, I was a day trader before I started investing in GameStop. That's why, that's why my views on the stock market and the way I talk about stocks and trading is so much different than probably a lot that you've heard. It's because, this is what I was doing for a really long time. But I don't know if you're talking to me or the other guy, but for me, it's not, I don't really care. Like, to me, GameStop is just a sports bet, so it's very simple, But for me, the mistake is all the knowledge I have on trading and making money, and I'm wasting my time sitting in an investment. Like, that's the mistake. It doesn't have really anything to do with GameStop. It's just investing in general, for me, is kind of stupid. But this is the bet I want to make, I don't want to day trade. I want to, YOLO YOLO all in on something. It should be the S&P 500, obviously. All in should be on the S&P 500, but that's what everyone does. I don't want to do what everyone else is doing, so YOLOing all in GameStop for me is just more interesting than day trading and diversification or anything, really. But yeah, I like I said, I don't know if you're talking about me or not. It's just being an investor is a waste of my time. But I think the bet is more interesting. I think betting on an investment is way more interesting than trading. I sold pretty much all of it, y'all. Oh, you got rid of your Pokemon? Nice, bro. Hell yeah. What a good time. What a good time to get rid of all your Pokemon. Have they not dropped the earnings yet? I also only have GME. Do you think GameStop be mentioned on the call be fun for a poll to make it interesting? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think they'll talk unless one of the analysts asks a question about it. Maybe you'll get some information, but they're not just going to bring it up. You've complained about not having income. I've been collecting for 2 years now. Well, good for you. I could make income at the snap of a finger if I wanted. You can sell options at any time, any day, any second, except on the weekends and when the market's closed. So I can make income anytime I want. I just choose not to. When you find something you like and you're good at it, life is a lot better than when you only chase money or dwell that the system is against you. I agree. Why flip-flop? Just commit to it and do it. You made a choice and complain a lot about it. It's okay to be wrong and change it up. Write some calls and gather income. No, I don't want to write call. I don't want to sell options. I think selling options is stupid. And I'm just on YouTube talking about my experience and what I think. Like, my YouTube channel is just a diary for me, basically. I don't know if you guys realize this. Like, sure, you know, I want to talk about GameStop and maybe get people interested in it, but realistically, all my YouTube channel is a diary for me. So if you don't like that I'm talking about the things that I want to talk about and the things that I think about, and you don't agree with them because you don't understand trading and you don't understand investing, that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to have the same perspective as me on the stock market because you're just not, we're not even on like the same level. Like, you're talking about selling options, the most basic fucking thing you can do. Like, that's not interesting to me. I can make 10 grand, literally, snap of a finger. Actually, how much could I make? If I truly wanted, I could make probably like 30 grand in the snap of a finger. Let's see. Yeah, I could make like 30 grand in the snap of a finger. I just choose not to. Is what it is, man. Just because you don't get what I'm doing and how I view the market doesn't mean anything. This is my life. Sure, I complain on YouTube, and it's just the reality of it. I don't want to be a fucking moon man who spreads fake information and makes people FOMO into the stock when they're not ready for it, and then they get wrecked. I'm just talking about some real life shit. If you don't understand real life, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Deja vu. I was a trader as well. I'm in the same boat as you, Corey. I was doing quite well. Yeah, I mean, investing's hard. Trading's easy. That's a thing I think a lot of people don't want to talk about. Investing's fucking hard. Trading's easy. Trading's for simple-minded plebeians, bro. Trading is so simple. You click the fucking buy button, you click the sell button when you get scared or you have some profit. Yeah, that sounds like some real skill. That sounds like some real skill right there. All right, is this earnings out yet? What the hell? The stock moved. Where's the earnings report? Yahoo has it? Oh, what's this? Wait. How come Yahoo has it, but it's not on the investor relation website? That doesn't make any sense. It's gotta be in here, right? Ah, here it is. Found it. Found it, chat. Don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little head. I found it. Let me see. I get you're not growing in terms of technical skills to do with trading, but we are all getting experience with dealing with the psychological ups and downs of investing. And if you weren't holding it, wouldn't impact you the same way. Surely that has some value. Yeah, definitely. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, I learned a lot when I was day trading. and I was pretty good at it. I've learned way more just being a GameStop investor. Like, to be able to just sit back and view the market through a different perspective instead of worrying about what is going up and down and what trade I can make and blah, blah, even though that's not how I trade. Usually I just day trade one stock. I mean, that's how I got into GameStop to begin with, but it's a lot easy. Like, I've learned way more just being a GameStop investor. I've learned way more about day trading and psychology and all of the important things that you need to be a profitable trader. I've learned more as a GameStop investor than actually trading. Like, sure, actually doing the trading, that teaches you the applicable skills, but trading is probably like 80-90% all mental. So Varley, what's up, Varley? It won't be those old useless fuckers getting rich on the stocks and are terrified. I don't know what you're responding to there. I do think diversifying is important and lets me grow and invest more into GME, but you do you. I don't like diversification. And I also, there was a time in my life when I used the stock market for income, but I don't use the stock market for income anymore. Psychology in investing is a thing. Oh yeah. Q&A on earnings, almost forgot that was a thing after only listening to GameStop the past 5 years. Yeah, we've been doing these earning streams for a long time, so I have a pretty good idea of how they run. But yeah, they have the Q&A. They have the Q&A. Usually they have a Q&A for the bankers and then a Q&A for the analysts. But sometimes they just mix them into both. Just depends on the company. I, for one, appreciate your candidness, 100%. These are good conversations. And I appreciate you bringing value to the chat and conversation. eBay BDPS. Your channel, your voice. Sub J Card, Galaxy Jumper. You answered the question perfectly. You think you're smarter than everyone else? No, I just know the rules of the stock market, and selling options is considered picking up pennies on a railroad track, as the old timers call it. So, you're making money selling options, like, good for you, but literally like 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, I'm gonna make exceptionally more than you than, the past 2 years of you selling options. Like, 1 day in the market could be more profitable than like 2-3 years of selling options. Has it happened yet? No, but that's the reality of the stock market, and I'm sorry that you don't understand that. Just because you don't understand that, it doesn't mean anything. That's what you said 2 years ago, because that's the stock market, bro. Just because you don't understand that doesn't mean anything. Just because you don't understand investing and trading, that doesn't matter. Go look at a million other stocks on the market. If you were selling options on a lot of other stocks, you wouldn't have made shit, because the stock is just going up. So sure, you made money selling options on GameStop. Congratulations. But you're trying to like spin the real rules of investing and trading to make it seem like you're smarter than you actually are. I'm sorry that you don't understand that, but I wouldn't expect anyone who sells options to understand that. Like, if you sell options and you think you're smart because you're selling options and you're making money, I wouldn't expect you to understand the real rules of trading. So, like, congratulations. Good for you that you're making money. I can make more money than you in literally the snap of a finger. So like, it's just not. Your opinion on selling options is pretty dumb. eBay always buys back shares. It's the only reason they have shareholders. Yeah, pretty much. That doesn't make either of us right or wrong. Good luck, man. I am right, though. I am 100% right. Just because you don't understand what I'm saying, it doesn't make me wrong. I know I'm right. Ask any real person. Ask anyone who's been in the stock market for 10, 20, or 30 years. And they will agree with me, not you. Like, congratulations that you got lucky and the stock hasn't moved and you were able to make money. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm good for you. But that doesn't mean that that was a good trade or a good idea. Because on any other stock, you would have got wrecked. Sorry, I'm gonna catch up with the chat, and then I'll read this, and then we'll go from there. We still got a long time till the earnings call starts, so I'm kind of just killing time here. All right. Because they're terrified? Wait, what happened? What did I miss? Your channel, your voice. Please be my life coach titleist. Should I switch to Pro Vs? I have to save up 5 years for 30 grand. Can only save about $500 a quarter a month. That's okay, man. You don't gotta. There's no rush. There's no rush. I don't know what you have to save up 30 grand for, but there's no rush for nothing. My head dent throbs. Wait, what? It's tempo season. No GameStop in the earnings reports. They don't say anything. The earnings call might have a question about it, but I wouldn't expect them to say anything about GameStop anyway. Investing requires mental toughness. Yeah. Trading takes no skill. Like, you press the buy button, you press the sell button, you do the opposite when you get scared or profit or whatever. Like, trading takes no skill. Investing is for the real ones. Return 448 million stockholders, including 310 of share repurchases, 138 million paid in cash dividends. eBay's buying back shares. Oh, eBay's been buying back shares. Oh, that's why you said that. Okay. eBay bought back 1 million shares. Did I read that right? Yeah, eBay buys back a lot of shares. eBay bought $2 billion in shares last year. They do it every year. Selling options means you're constantly tied to watching the charts and have a different emotional investment, and the payout is pennies. If you just hold the shares and wait for bigger moves, better. Yeah, I mean, look at Apple. You want a good example of why selling options is fucking stupid? You can't use GameStop because GameStop is not even on the same realm of a normal stock in the stock market. Look at Apple. If you were selling covered calls on this, you weren't making shit. You were getting wrecked every single time you did it. Except maybe here. The beginning of 2025 to April. That's about the only time you've ever been able to sell covered calls on something like Apple. So, like, you can think you're smart for selling options all you want because GameStop is allowing it, but in reality, you would just get wrecked on every other stock. So, like I said, congratulations if you're making money selling options, whatever. Like, that's great, but the reality is that selling options is a waste of time. Literally, one day in the stock market could make you more money than selling options for years. Like I said, if you don't get that, I can't help you. I can't help you if you don't understand that. Let's see. It's like a weird narcissist point of view, man. It's gaslighting. Just have a discussion. It's not a narcissistic point of view. It's the real reality of the stock market. But okay. Okay. Am I gonna go live the eBay earnings call? Yeah. Anyone buying GMEU? No. You buy GameStop because that's that's the investment. GMEU is some random nonsense. The funny thing is GMEU, they just sell options. The GMEU, they just sell options. Oh, man. And all risks or rewards, selling options in something as explosive as GME, not worth it, in my opinion. I don't think selling options is valuable on any stock. Really. It's picking up pennies on a railroad track. That's anyone who's been in the stock market for 10, 20, 30 years, they know that. Like I said, just because you're making money selling options on GameStop because it's the weirdest anomaly stock in the market and hasn't moved for 2-3 years, that doesn't excuse the general rules of the stock market. If you want to excuse the general rules of the stock market because you are making money, it's only a matter of time before you get wrecked. Shut the fuck up and talk about the earnings report? Nah, I'm good. I'll talk about it when I feel like it. I don't like the decay that comes out with 2x leverage products, just shares for me. Yeah, there's that aspect as well. Leverage products do naturally lose value. I'm not waking up without my precious shares. Exactly. Exactly. I'm being paid $10K a month to hold the stock. Well, you probably have millions of dollars then, or you're full of shit. So, good for you. If you have millions of dollars and you're making $10K a month, that's not impressive. So you either have millions of dollars or you're full of shit. Or you're just selling your whole position on options, which you're not an investor in that sense. You're just trading and yeah. Nervous laugh? Sure. If you think I'm nervous, sure. Is Gme at $13? Never gonna happen. Unless they issue more of the debt. If they issue more of the debt, we'll see. But probably not happening. What's your opinion on wheel strategy? I forget what that is. Sell cash secured puts, get assigned shares, sell covered calls. I don't know. I don't like that. I'd rather just buy the shares. I'd rather just buy the shares. I don't like selling options at all. I think I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And to your point, Johnny, sure, you're not gonna get wrecked selling options, but you're not gonna make as much if the stock doesn't go in your favor. Skeezy. I like the anchor strategy, buy and hold the position and wait for the sea levels to rise. Amen. Amen. I like that too. I like, from my perspective, if you're going to trade, I think day trading's the most interesting. It's the least amount of risk. potentially most amount of reward. But that's about it. Alright, I guess I'll read this. Why not? eBay Inc. reports second quarter 2026 results. Revenue of $3.1 billion, up 15% on an as-reported basis, up 14% on Forex neutral basis. Gross merchandise volume of $22.4 billion, up 15% on an as-reported basis, 14% on FX neutral basis. GAAP and non-GAAP earnings per diluted share of 1.21 and 1.6 respectively on a continuing operation basis. GAAP and non-GAAP operating margins of 21.6% and 28.5% respectively. Returned $448 million to stockholders in Q2, including $310 million of share repurchases and $138 million paid in cash dividends. Oh, nice. When was their last dividend? August 5th. Wait, that's earnings. May 29th was their last dividend. How much do they pay? Does anyone know how much eBay's dividend is? Oh, it's 1.16%. So whatever. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. 1.24 divided by 4. So 31 cents. I just want to see how much GameStop's making on their position here as far as dividend goes. So they're making, I'll just times it by 4, $53 million a year in dividends. It's not bad. It's not bad. eBay, a global e-commerce leader that connects millions of buyers and sellers around the world, today reported financial results, for its second quarter ended June 30th, 2026. When does this start? 5:30. Okay, that's like not for another hour, right? The earnings call doesn't start for another hour, right? 5:30 EDT. I think that's 3:30 my time. Pretty sure. Good luck, Corey. I'm a GME holder too. Well, that's fine, bro, but don't try to argue with me about the rules of the stock market when you don't understand the rules of the stock market. Like I said, congratulations. You made money selling options on a stock that hasn't moved 3 years. That doesn't mean what I'm saying isn't true, because what I am saying is 100% true. All right. eBay's second quarter delivered meaningful, broad-based momentum driven by continued innovation and focused execution against our strategic roadmap. This quarter once again demonstrated our ability to focus on our strategic priorities while still delivering strong growth in operating income and EPS. Our second quarter results and continued GMV growth, I almost said GME growth, reflects our leadership in the categories that matter most to our buyers and sellers, while building an even stronger, more resilient eBay. Given the strong momentum we're seeing in our business, we are increasing our full-year top and bottom line outlook. Wow. Rules would be cool. You think they will talk about GameStop at the earnings call or try to pretend like everything is business as usual? They won't talk about GameStop unless one of the analysts asks the question during the Q&A. But even then, I wouldn't expect them to really say much about it. But what's up, Kalaluka? I don't know if I said what up to you. Alright. On July 30th, 2026, eBay closed its acquisition of Depop Limited, a leading consumer-to-consumer fashion marketplace with a highly engaged Gen Z and millennial audience, strengthening eBay's leadership in circular fashion and re-commerce. eBay Live posted another record quarter, with GMV growing by roughly 8 times year over year across its 7 markets. eBay Live continued to deepen global engagement across categories by delivering timely, high-impact experiences that aligned with major cultural moments like the World Cup. These experiences mobilize enthusiasts across the platform while connecting fans to eBay's unique inventory of curated collectibles and memorabilia. eBay expanded coverage of authenticity guarantee to more than 100 fashion brands in the US and UK. The company also integrated Enquiris, the trusted global database of registered luxury watches across the US, UK, and Germany, strengthening buyer confidence in eBay's luxury resale offering. Dude, that's actually pretty sick. God, we need eBay. eBay is more than just fucking trading cards and video games and collectibles, bro. It's so much more. eBay reinforced its leadership position in collectibles by expanding authenticity guarantee for UK trading cards valued at over €500 and broadening eligibility for its PSA grading option to include pack-pulled autographed trading cards in the US. eBay further enhanced the C2C experience in Australia, streamlining the end-to-end selling experience with AI-powered listing tools, simplified shipping, secure payments, and stronger buyer protections. In motor parts and accessories, eBay launched easy and free returns in the UK to give buyers greater confidence through a simpler, no-cost return experience, and expanded the Guaranteed Fit program to Canada, where it also began automatically enriching listings with fitment data to help shoppers find compatible parts. In vehicles, eBay introduced new listing capabilities in the eBay mobile app, making it easier for sellers to bring new inventory onto the platform. Additionally, by leveraging AI and automation to simplify the transaction process, eBay significantly reduced the average time to vehicle pickup. The latest generation of eBay's magical listing tool was expanded to include all new and reactivated listers in the UK and Germany, further accelerating consumer supply by making it faster and easier to list and sell on eBay. eBay's AI-powered card scanning feature recently surpassed 80 million cumulative scans as collectors increasingly use the tool to quickly identify cards, understand pricing, and list or shop with greater confidence. The company also enhanced trading card listings with richer market pricing insights, including card ladder indexes that help collectors track the value of specific players, characters, sports, and collectibles card game genres over time. Golden, an eBay company, continued to drive demand for premium collectibles through record-setting sales, including a solo Michael Jordan card for $4.3 million, and Wayne Gretzky's Stanley Cup winning jersey for $2.8 million, the most ever paid for a hockey jersey. That's fucking crazy, dude. eBay returned to the Met Gala for the 4th consecutive year as designers and creators sourced one-of-a-kind pieces for looks worn by SZA, Wisdom K, Paloma Elliser, and others, reinforcing its marketplace as a destination for pre-loved fashion. Okay. eBay released its annual impact report, highlighting progress in advancing sustainability, re-commerce, and economic opportunity. In 2025, eBay maintained 100% renewable energy across its operations and generated $5.3 billion in positive economic impact through re-commerce. eBay for Charity enabled buyers and sellers on the platform to raise $58 million worldwide in the second quarter. Highlights included a more than $9 million winning bid for a private lunch with Warren Buffett and Steph and Aisha Curry that helped raise $27 million for nonprofit organizations Glide and Eat, Learn, Play. Additionally, a partnership with The Late Show with Stephen Colbert raised more than $2 million for World Central Kitchen through the auction of iconic Ed Sullivan Theater memorabilia. A private lunch with Buffett? So does Buffett give to eBay charity, or I don't know what that's all about. I do remember hearing about that though. What an interesting what an interesting dinner table. Warren Buffett, Steph Curry, and you. What an interesting dinner table. Oh, and Aisha Curry. That's an interesting like what. I'd want to talk to Warren Buffett the whole time. I don't even know if I'd want to talk to Stephen Curry. I'd be like, "Oh, Stephen, good to see you, buddy." I only want to talk to Warren. I don't even know why you're here. eBay was recognized with numerous awards, including the Wall Street Journal's Best Companies for the Future, Times World's Most Sustainable Companies 2026, U.S. News and World Report's Best Companies to Work For overall, and Newsweek's America's Greatest Workplace in Tech 2026. Second quarter 2026 financial highlights. Revenue was $3.1 billion, up 15% on an as-reported basis. GMV was $22.4 billion, up 15%. GAAP net income from continuing operations was $552 million, or $1.21 per diluted share. Non-GAAP net income from continuing operations was $727 million, or $1.6 per diluted share. GAAP and non-GAAP operating margins were 21.6% and 28.5% respectively. Generated $549 million of operating cash flow and $326 million of free cash flow from continuing operations. Returned $448 million to stockholders, including $310 million of share repurchases and $138 million of paid in cash dividends. Yippee! Well, their income went up from last year. Their 2025 second quarter income. This is second quarter, right? What quarter is this? Yeah, Q2. Oh, it literally says it right there. I'm an idiot. All right. Yeah, they made $365 million 2025. $552 million. Or they didn't make $365 million in Q2. That's just how much they're up so far this year. But then the non-GAAP, that's also up. Just not as exponential, I don't think. A little baby crying on YouTube? Well, why do you watch my videos then? You must like it. You must have a weird fetish for babies, I guess. If that's what you think. Why are you watching my stream and my YouTube videos if you think I'm a baby? That's a weird fetish, bro. You need to get yourself checked. All right. Advertising revenue. The company's total advertising offerings generated $596 million of revenue in the second quarter of 2026, representing 2.7% of GMV. First-party advertising products on the eBay platform delivered $570 million of revenue in the second quarter of 2026, up 25%. Operating margin, GAAP operating margin increased to 21.6% for the second quarter of 2026 compared to 17.6%. Non-GAAP operating margin increased to 28.5% for the second quarter compared to 28.3% for the same period last year. Income tax rate. The GAAP effective tax rate from continuing operations for the second quarter of 2026 was 17.1%. compared to 22.6% for the second quarter of 2025. The non-GAAP effective tax rate for continuing operations for the second quarter of 2026 was 17.5%. Cash flow, the company generated $549 million of operating cash flow and $326 million of free cash flow during the second quarter of 2026 from continuing operations. Capital returns, the company repurchased $310 million of its common stock, or approximately 3 million shares in the second quarter of 2026. The company's total repurchase authorization remaining as of June 30th, 2026 was approximately $2 billion. The company also paid cash dividends of $138 million during the second quarter of 2026. Cash and cash equivalents, non-equity investments. The company's cash and cash equivalents totaled $4.9 billion. Okay. Let's see. eBay declared third quarter 2026 cash dividend of 0.31 per share. In February 2026, eBay and Etsy Inc. announced that they entered into a definitive agreement for eBay to acquire all of the outstanding equity interests of Depop, a leading C2C fashion marketplace with $1.2 billion in cash, subject to certain purchase price adjustments. The transaction closed on July 30th, 2026. We paid $1.4 billion in cash, inclusive preliminary purchase price adjustments subject to finalization. And now we just gotta wait for the earnings call, I believe. Which is here. Where is it? There it is. So I'll get the earnings call ready for y'all. For y'all. Y'all. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okie dokie. Watching this with my head turned, and I'm like, why the hell does the CFO sound like this and does not know what he's saying? What do you mean? I'm reading the fucking report that the eBay corporation put out. So, if you think I don't know what I'm saying, I mean, that just shows how dumb you are, because I'm literally just reading what they put out. That's crazy. That's crazy. eBay's going to agree to sell on the conference call? No, they're not. They're going to report their earnings, like every earnings report in the stock market. eBay up 1%, GME up 0.5% makes sense. GameStop and eBay shares aren't directly correlated, so not even not even a relevant thing to type in my chat. I was wondering why they were hesitating with repeating the financials like you were reading it as if it was your first time seeing. Oh yeah. They repeated it. They repeated it like 3 or 4 times. I don't know why. They pretty much every company does that though. GME is basically 50% eBay shares at this point. Well, there you go. That probably answers your question then. If GME's 50% of eBay and eBay's up 1%, it would make sense why GameStop's up 0.5%. But GameStop's not even up, so also worrying about short-term price action and daily price action, a waste of time. A waste of time. I didn't have a question, I was making a statement. I'm retarded? Yet you're coming into my chat to make a statement about eBay being up 1% when it's actually up 2%, and GameStop being up 0.5% when it's actually down 0.5%. Who's the retarded one? Because it seems like you're kind of an idiot. So, I don't know. Maybe try having an educated statement, and then maybe I'd have a better response to your statement. Telling someone like Ryan Cohen that their offer is not credible nor attractive is about as smart as shooting John Wick's dog. That's kind of funny. Do you think my $20 GME calls will print this week, or should I get rid of them like a hot potato? I think trading options is stupid. And you're asking the wrong person, because I don't care what you do with your money. And I think if you're trading options, you automatically don't know what you're doing. So, especially if you're asking someone what you should do with your options, you definitely don't know what you're doing. So, you'll figure it out. Maybe. But selling options is dumb, or trading options is dumb. Selling options is dumb, but trading options is even dumber. Have a good one, Break Nation. Appreciate you, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day. Never go full retard. Why not? Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's a good time. Oh yeah, I forgot I was playing RuneScape. I keep forgetting. Gotta get that sailing, baby. I'm sailing. We're almost there. We're almost at 96. Hey, Break Nation with the 5 gifted, bro. Thank you, Break Nation. Thank you, bro. Hey, how come it only gave 2 of them? What the heck? Oh, there we go. It like glitched out for a second. That was weird. The only person I know in that list is Kalaluka. So shout out Kalaluka. But thank you for the 5 gifted, Break Nation. I really appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. Yeah, W. W Break Nation. W Break Nation. Alright, we still got quite a while till this starts. I don't know what else we're gonna do. I guess we can look on Reddit, but we all know there's nothing on there. We all know there's nothing on there. GameStop's about to launch Yu-Gi-Oh! Packs. Oh, that's sick. Yu-Gi-Oh! I was always wondering when they were going to do that. That means they should be doing Magic soon. No, they haven't. They haven't done it yet. What is this guy saying? Oh. He's just assuming. No actual, real, legitimate info, it doesn't look like. That's typical. When is there ever good info on Reddit? Let's be real. Like, 99% of the time is just terrible. When does it start? I think in, 45 minutes. I believe. Yeah. There's nothing on Reddit. There's nothing on Reddit. Well, what now? What now? I don't know if there's really anything else to talk about. We just gotta wait for this earnings call. What else had earnings today? I think SanDisk. Yeah, Western Digital. How'd those do? Yeah, I kind of figured that would be down. I assume Western Digital's down as well. Yep. Overvalued stocks. Not surprising. Oh, AppLovin. AppLovin? McLovin? Holy shit, it's down 20%. Rip. Rip. Oh, damn. That's huge. That's huge. Down $100 basically. Duolingo ad. Duolingo? Damn, that's down too? Everything's down. That's crazy. Isn't that... That's almost... Oh, no, not quite. Not quite. I was like, damn, that's almost lows on Duolingo, but you're still up like 50%. Yeah, all those stocks are overvalued, so not really surprising. DoorDash. Flat. McKesson. I think that's trucking, isn't it? Up 2%. Oh no, that's medical. What am I thinking of? Oh, Block. Block had earnings. How'd Block do? Down 2%. Expedia. Last time I looked at Expedia stock, it was at all-time highs. And wouldn't you know it, it's at all-time highs again. I swear, I don't look at Expedia stock like ever, but every single time I look at it, it's at all-time highs. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. It's kind of ridiculous. Anything else? I know there's some stuff in the morning. U-Haul. I didn't know U-Haul had a stock. That's got to be a good-ass stock right now, right? Yep, almost all-time highs, but there's so many people like moving and selling houses and stuff right now. I would imagine this would be a really good stock. And sure enough, the past 5 months, it's almost doubled. Double bottom off triple bottom off 47. Crazy. Dutch Bros. I haven't looked at that stock in a long time. Flat. What else is there? Zillow. Oh god, Zillow. Zillow was one of my first bad trades in 2020. This was one of my first bad trades. I remember like my first couple years in the market when I was diversifying and investing and trading at the same time and didn't know what I was doing. I bought this piece of shit and lost like 50% on it or something like that before I finally got out of it. Good times. But yeah, Zillow was one of my first bad trades, investments, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, Etsy. It's like my first year or two in the market. I mean, Etsy's at highs for the past couple years, but not all-time highs. Anything else? There's Joby. I don't want to look Joby. Duolingo. Hey, there's a lot of things that have earnings today. Ooh, Elf. I haven't looked at Elf in a while. I used to think that was an interesting... No. Must not be very interesting. Elf could be interesting to keep track of. Obviously, kind of a waste of my time, because whenever I get extra money, I'm just going to buy GameStop, but Elf looks like it could be interesting. Just depends what the financials and stuff looks like. Haven't looked at that stock in a long time, and I haven't looked at the business in a really long time. Where'd eBay go? I lost eBay. Here we go. Here we go. My voice is like weird today. Not app loving this PA. That's funny. If you were on brunch with Ryan, what are you going to ask him? And do you let him take the first bite, or do you power move and eat before him? Oh, I would definitely eat before him, but what would I ask him? I don't know. I don't know, man. I just want to know where he learned all this, like, these financial instruments to, like, make the market react. Like, how did he know that, issuing senior notes would make the stock drop like 20-30%? How did he know? Well, I think issuing the equity is kind of obvious, converting the debt to equity. I think that's kind of obvious on how that happened. Like, where did he learn about, like, war? I'd just be curious where he learned his financial education, because he knows a lot, it seems like. Calls on McLovin. I think Riot did. Riot? I didn't see Riot. No, Riot reports in a couple days. What's up, AZ? How you doing, man? Shop and Eli Lilly did great in the PM. Oh yeah, I saw Shopify was up like 20%. No, it's not anymore, but still up quite a bit. Eli Lilly, I haven't looked at that in a long time. Good lord. Eli motherfucking Lilly, bro. Holy shit. That's actually nuts, bro. This shit was so cheap when I first started trading. It's $1,000 stock now. Crazy. Absolutely insane. In the membrane. TE? What the hell's TE? Oh, energy. I can see why you're trading that. It's volatile. It's probably interesting. I think it's all a plan about taking control of the price back from the shorts, preventing them from shorting at the top. Well, it seems like it forced the shorts to sell. I don't know if it's taking the control as much as it is like forcing them to act. Beyond didn't release earnings and the calls in a few minutes? No way. I thought Beyond was going bankrupt. This isn't bankrupt yet. Chart won't load. NVO? No, I've never heard of that. Oh, Nova Nordisk. I don't think that's interesting. 200 billion market cap? What the hell? I don't know. That is kind of interesting. It's down a lot. It must be overvalued or something. What is it again? NVO? I can't research it. It's foreign. So can't really have an opinion on it if I can't research the financials. But I don't think I'd have an opinion on that either way. World's crazy, been trying to block out the noise and just stay focused. I got online and first thing I saw was that Perez Hilton video and I'm like, yup, log out, yikes. I heard about that, but I didn't watch it. Yeah, I try not to consume much news anymore. That's why I got like off Twitter and stuff like that. Cause I don't know, man. It's just all like the internet's just so negative, bro. Like there's just too much negative stuff on the internet. It's like for me, it's hard to enjoy the internet. Especially news. Like news is just so awful. I like business news and financial news because I mean some of the titles are stupid, but for the most part, at least like business and financial news is relevant and pretty neutral. But like as far as like drama and like politics and whatever that is, I don't like that stuff, man. It's just so negative. It's just so I just think it like pollutes your mind. Like maybe in the like in the short term it probably does nothing, but I think consuming that kind of content or media, whatever, on a consistent basis for a really long time, it's got to be bad for you. Don't, brother, evil. All right, I won't. I mean, unless someone shows it to me, but I won't seek it out. What stocks do you like other than GME? I mean, all I buy is GameStop, so it's kind of a tough question. And I haven't really been researching like other businesses and stuff, just because all I do is buy GameStop. So like researching other businesses is kind of a waste of my time. So I can't really answer that because GameStop's realistically the only stock I invest in. And if it wasn't GameStop, if GameStop didn't exist, I'd probably just have all my money in the S&P 500. So it's kind of I'd have to get back on my value investing grind to really give you a good answer on that. But I just haven't researched other businesses in a while. Politics is super toxic. Yeah, I hate politics. When you were a trader, how did you decide on a trade target? Well, I was day trading, so it's just dependent on price action, You'd have a stop loss at wherever you buy, whether you're buying support or you're buying a breakout. Like there's so many different trading setups, so like I can't really like learning about trading setups. There's just so many of them, there's so many trading setups, but it's just simple, like buy, make a stop loss, what the stop loss is. Like if my stop loss was like 10 cents or for example, if it was like $1, I'll make it simple. If my stop loss was $1, I'd want at least like $2 to $3 in profit. Every trade I want to have the opportunity to make more than what I can lose. And that's really just the simple philosophy I stand by when it comes to trading. Where you're going to buy that trade, that takes a lot of time and just screen time and studying to learn about different setups and stuff like that. But the most basic thing I can say, you know, if I'm risking $1, I want to make $2 or $3. Like that's the most basic thing I can say. Setups are a lot different. Like, of course, you need to understand the setups to have that trading strategy work, but learning about different setups is, you have to do that on your own time. Like, I can't sit here and tell you like every setup in the stock market because there's so fucking many. And some of them are better than others. And sometimes you have to risk more on certain setups. Sometimes you risk less on other setups. Like, there's just no direct, like, one-to-one, like, this is what you do, but, you know, if I could make it basic, that's all I would say, you know? I want to have a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk to reward trade. I want to be able to lose. I want to, you know, if I want to be able to lose 2 or 3 times and only have to win once to be break even or profitable, if that makes sense. It's a very simple philosophy, but there's a lot that goes into it, I guess. What game you playing right now? I am playing RuneScape, and I completely forgot I was playing it. I was literally just spacing out talking while I was playing it. We're just waiting for the eBay earnings call. I think it starts in like 25 minutes, I think, so we're getting close. Yesterday was great, but that was the first good day in a while. What platform you use to set a stop loss? You could do it on any platform, I'm pretty sure, but I use Thinkorswim. And that's the whole point of that trading philosophy, is because you're not gonna win every trade. So I want to be able to lose 3 trades and only have to win 1 to break even. So that, the chance that I win 2 or 3 trades in a row, I'll be way more profitable than if I lose 2 or 3 trades in a row. Like, that's the whole point of that philosophy, because a lot of people, when they first get into the market especially, they think they're just going to win every trade and that's how it works, but that's not how it works. Like, if you're going to trade in the stock market, you're never going to win every single trade ever. Like, you're going to lose. So you need to have a trading strategy that not prioritizes losing, but losing has to be it has to be factored in, because you're not going to win every trade. It's literally impossible. I can recommend the book Best Loser Wins, only book that actually helped me with my trading. It's a lot about psychology and not so much TA. I think TA is relevant when it comes to positioning, but psychology is mostly trading, because if you don't have proper psychology and proper emotional control, you're not going to be able to make consistent trades and do the same thing. Like, if you lose control, you're going to start YOLOing and making bad trades and not following your own rules. So, yeah. Psychology is super important, but TA still, in some ways, is relevant, because you have to position properly. If you don't position properly, it's going to be tough to be a profitable trader. It's going to be really tough. So that's what, TA helps with, but TA is not going to help you if you don't have consistent trading rules and, you know, consistent setups that you use. And if you're just trading randomly, you're never going to win, you know. I mean, you can get lucky, but they'll get you. They'll get you. They'll get you. I mean, shit, sometimes, like, just going fucking full retard into the market is better than actually learning. Sometimes, and, you know, not in most cases, but sometimes just, like, being totally oblivious is beneficial. Okay. Let's see. We're also down 100K in GME, our fault, but we fell for Michael Saylor pick with Ryan, and we bought back in at 34, not leave it until our portfolio is dark green again. Dang, that sucks, Angie. I'm sorry to hear that, but I mean, that's just what happens when you know, YOLO in. That's just what happens. I think you'll be made whole eventually, but could be years. You never know. Could be months, could be years, but if you're okay with it, I guess that's all that matters, right? As long as you're happy with the investment and you want to see it through. To me, that's all I would say. That's all that really matters. I think GME goes to 12 to 15 before another leg up. Who knows, though? I'm looking at short-term puts. I mean, the lower the stock goes, the more dilutive the debt exchange is, so I just don't know if that's going to happen. Unless, you know, the thing we were reading earlier is relevant and they're not able to convert any more than the 45.16 shares. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but or relevant to this debt exchange. But I don't really see the stock going down much more unless they do another debt exchange, because the stock's not going down because GameStop's bad or bearish or anything like that. Like, yeah, it formed a bearish pattern, but the only reason it formed that bearish pattern is because they added more shares to the market, increased supply, demand didn't change. So, like, the stock's not down. I just don't think, like, sure, you know, it could go to $12, $15, but it's not going to happen unless they exchange the debt again. It's just not going to happen. I just meant the book. I agree with that. Oh, I'm sure it's a good book. I'm sure it's a good book. How often do I stream? I try to stream every day, but lately I've been pretty lazy. Hey, God bless, AZ. I appreciate you stopping in, bro. Appreciate you stopping in. What are you hoping to hear on the eBay call? Nothing. Just gonna listen to it. We do these eBay. I mean, I swear I've seen you in here before. Like, we do these earning streams all the time. They're just fun to listen to sometimes. YOLO'd in again after that eBay news and bought in at 28. Interesting. Yeah, they'll get you. FOMO will get you. FOMO has no place in the stock market or anywhere. FOMO is bad. Have you thought about cutting your losses and investing in the SPY, the S&P? No. No. I invest in GameStop because I don't want to invest in the S&P. So I'll just buy more. If GameStop wasn't a thing, I'd already be investing in the S&P. But I think GameStop's a more interesting investment than the S&P, so is what it is. We'll see what happens. I always like to bring this stat up, even though it may or may not be relevant. In a 60-year period, Berkshire Hathaway returned 6.1 million%. In that same 60-year period, the S&P 500 only returned 46,000%. 46,000% is amazing, but 6.1 million% is a lot better. So, investing in a business, in a singular stock, is probably really risky, but I'm willing to take the risk for the potential greater outcome. Whether it works or not, who knows? We'll see, but he is what it is. What's up, Isaiah? How you doing, man? Just bought another 82 shares at 19.24. Is it going up after hours or something? I don't know. The spread's probably just weird after hours, I guess. Oh, earlier today. Gotcha. I like your takes and videos. Very informative. What do you do for your main job? I am unemployed right now, unfortunately. YouTube's kind of my job. And yeah, I haven't had a job in a while, actually. Kind of sucks, but not much I can do about it. I can try to apply to places, but seems like these days you got to get pretty lucky to get a job. But I appreciate that, Med. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching the videos. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. 1 second. I'm back. How about GameStop? I actually tried to get a job at GameStop. They never called me back, unfortunately. I thought it would be an even though GameStop doesn't pay like shit, or even though GameStop pays like shit, I think it would be an interesting job because I could make content around it. But They never hit me back. I did like a phone interview and stuff, and the lady said she would send my application to the stores that are like closest to me. So I think she sent my application to like 2 or 3 stores, but none of them called me, so I don't know. One of these days, maybe today, maybe I'll give them a call and see what's up, but I don't know. If I can't even get a job at GameStop, I'm fucked. Like they pay like $9 an hour or some shit. Like I can't even get a $9 an hour job. I'm screwed, bro. I'm screwed. Wow. Oh yeah. Are you guys excited for eBay earnings? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Doesn't look like it. You're pretty funny, stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy would be sick. I'd have to write some jokes. But I would say pursuing stand-up comedy is very similar to like pursuing YouTube or, being a content creator. I think it's a very similar I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I think I just think comedy and YouTube are very similar. I mean, you could use YouTube to make your comedy career better, but I don't know. I don't know if I could be a comedian. I don't know. You'll get back on your feet again. In the meanwhile, have a share on me. Hey, Kalaluka, thank you. I don't know what a DKK is, but I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, bro. Dang, isn't that quite a bit? Isn't that like $20 or something like that? I appreciate that, Kalaluka. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. I think that's $20. What is a DKK? Danish krone, huh? Interesting. Thank you, Kalaluka. Thank you, bro. Should be $19, the price of a share. Thank you, Kalaluka. Oh, crown. I called it a crone. Oh, that's funny. Go down to the stores, be proactive if you're not working and work there. I think it'd be interesting videos that dynamic with the store and the stock, just in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I just think it'd be interesting. Like, obviously, work hard for sure. Like, I wouldn't want to get a job at GameStop and half-ass. Ideally, I'd want to become like a manager or something. I think that would be the most ideal outcome, I think, but I don't know. But yeah, I think it'd be really interesting videos. Also, giving a real perspective of someone who works at GameStop instead of just like Reddit's perspective where you kind of don't know if those people actually work there. But it would be cool to see for sure. See the, film the interactions with the customers, like not actually film the customers, but just have the camera like pointed at me while I'm interacting with a customer or something. Like there's a lot of interesting things you could do with that. It's just I don't think they'll hire me. Like I said, I'll call them soon and see, but getting a job's tough, man. It's like a full-time job getting a full-time job. Literally. It's a full-time job getting a full-time job. That's how you say it in Danish. Good pronunciation, actually. Ah, well, thank you, Kalaluka. I appreciate it. I appreciate the $20, bro. Or the 123 Danish krones. talking about jobs. I'm applying to one right now. Need to take a pre-exam. The fuck? Dude, like every job has that. I swear. There's so many jobs that have that. It's just like I said, bro. Getting a job is literally a job in itself. It's kind of interesting. Who's outside? 1 second. My neighbor was like backing up their trailer and making some loud ass noise. Like, hopefully they're not like fucking something up. I mean, I guess I don't care, but didn't sound good. Oh, I'm almost 96 sailing, chat. We're like 5K away. We're almost there. Good for you, Elvis. Good for you. You don't need to tell me about your paper hands every single day. I think it's pretty funny. I haven't seen you in my stream. I mean, I haven't been streaming much, but I haven't seen you in like a month or two. Have you just been fucking waiting? You're just like, man, when that breaks $20, I'm gonna go show him. Like, come on, bro. What's up, Unites? How you doing? I don't know what you're asking, but hope you're doing well. When that stock breaks $20, I'll show him. I feel like that's what a lot of people think. They've just been waiting. They're like, I'm gonna show him. But in reality, the only reason the stock's down is because they added more shares to the market. If they never did that, the stock would still be trading at like $20, $21. So, I mean, congratulations to you if you've just been sitting on the sidelines. It's a great opportunity for you, but it didn't go down for the reason you thought it was going to go down. Simple supply and demand, simple economics. Doing well, and you? I'm doing good, bro. Just chilling. Virtual GameStop meeting on the little boat. Oh, you're talking about... Okay, I got you. I'm not used to playing RuneScape while I'm streaming. My bad. I'm like, what is he talking about? It's like, oh, there's literally a boat on the screen, dude. Just come on. There's literally a boat. About to hit 96 sailing. We're right there. Here, I'll throw this up here for the earnings call. Oh, here. I'll get 96 sailing before the earnings call, and I'll just close this, I think. Where is it? There you go, 96 sailing. Let's go. 1,000,000 XP to 97. Jesus Christ. Ugh. We're on the final stretch, though. We're on the final, like, 3 million XP. Good lord. Maybe I'll keep the RuneScape going. That's a lot of XP. That's a lot of XP. 1,000,000. Holy. It's time to make money once again. That's nice. Are you gonna donate this time? Or are you just gonna talk about making money? All right. Should be starting soon. I guess I can close this. Should be starting any second now. Any second now. Who's even gonna brag in a YouTube channel? It's pretty funny. Yeah, Elvis has been in this stream for a long time. I don't know why. I don't know why he doesn't bring anything valuable to the chat after, 5+ years of watching the stream, but
Good day, everyone. My name is Kate, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome you to the eBay second quarter 2026 earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, and if you have joined via the webinar, please use the raise hand icon, which can be found at the bottom of your webinar application. At this time, I would like to turn the call over to John Egbert, Vice President of Investor Relations.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us for eBay's second quarter 2026 earnings conference call. Joining me today on the call are Jamie Iannone, our Chief Executive Officer, and Peggy Alford, our Chief Financial Officer. We're providing a slide presentation to accompany our commentary during the call, which is available through the Investor Relations section of the eBay website at investors.ebayinc.com. Before we begin, I'll remind you that during this conference call, we will discuss certain non-GAAP measures related to our performance. You can find the reconciliation of these measures to the nearest comparable GAAP measures in our accompanying slide presentation. Additionally, all growth rates noted in our prepared remarks will reflect organic, FX-neutral, year-over-year comparisons, and all earnings per share amounts reflect earnings per diluted share unless indicated otherwise. Additionally, all year-over-year growth rates versus 2025 are based on recast financials reflecting our adoption of the new internally developed software accounting guidance in 2026. During this conference call, management will make forward-looking statements, including, without limitation, statements regarding our future performance and expected financial results. These forward-looking statements involve known and unknown risks and uncertainties. Our actual results may differ materially from our forecasts for a variety of reasons. You can find more information about risks, uncertainties, and other factors that could affect our operating results in our most recent periodic reports on Form 10-K, Form 10-Q, and our earnings release from earlier today. You should not rely on any forward-looking statements. All information in this presentation is as of August 5th, 2026. We do not intend and undertake no duty to update this information. With that, I'll turn the call over to Jamie.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. eBay delivered another strong quarter in Q2, with results that exceeded consensus expectations and the high ends of our guidance ranges across all key financial metrics. Gross merchandise volume grew 14% year over year to more than $22 billion. Revenue also grew 14% to over $3 billion. Our top-line outperformance gave us the flexibility to increase investment behind several strategic priorities while still driving 16% growth in non-GAAP operating income and 17% growth in non-GAAP earnings per share. These results reflect the broad-based momentum across our marketplace, including continued outperformance in the U.S. and improving trends across our international markets. Importantly, our growth continues to be driven by our key strategic priorities, including focus categories, our consumer-to-consumer or C2C business, and re-commerce, which we define as sales of pre-owned and refurbished items. Together, these strategic priorities made up more than 70% of total GMV in Q2, with each growing more than 20%, both individually and in aggregate. This momentum was further supported by emerging growth vectors and platform capabilities, including eBay Live, vehicles, and shipping. Focus categories remain a significant engine of growth for eBay, reflecting the cumulative impact of our investments in trust, innovation, and full funnel marketing. Focus category GMV grew 26% in Q2 and eclipsed 40% of total GMV for the first time. The strength in focus categories was broad-based, with collectibles, motors, fashion, and refurbished all contributing to growth. Collectibles GMV growth continued to be led by strength in trading cards, where we saw sustained momentum across all of the major sports and collectible card game genres, including notable strength in basketball cards through the NBA Finals and accelerating demand for soccer cards around the World Cup. We continue to strengthen our value proposition in trading cards, combining our unmatched inventory breadth with industry-leading trust and increasingly intuitive experiences for buyers and sellers. In Q2, we launched Authenticity Guarantee for trading cards in the UK, marking the first expansion of AG in this category outside of North America. In addition, our AI-powered card scanning experience exited beta and now has surpassed 80 million cumulative scans, making it easier for collectors to identify cards, understand pricing, and list or shop with confidence. We also recently enhanced trading card listings with richer market data on the view item page, including card ladder indexes that track values across specific players, characters, sports, and genres over time. Our collectibles momentum is also extending to a number of subcategories as we continue to see strong growth in coins, toys, and sports memorabilia. In Q2, we introduced new condition grading standards for collectible coins to improve trust and discovery. Gold and silver bullion remained a positive contributor to GMV in Q2, although they were much more modest drivers than the prior 2 quarters, as expected. Our off-platform collectibles marketplaces also continued to perform well. TCG Player saw strength across Pokemon, One Piece, and Magic the Gathering, while its latest Roka sorting devices are now helping thousands more hobby shops and high-volume sellers ingest and organize their customers' inventory. The Golden Marketplace had another record quarter, with several landmark sales across sports cards and memorabilia, including the most valuable solo Michael Jordan card ever sold, and an all-time public record for a hockey jersey with the sale of Wayne Gretzky's final Edmonton Oilers jersey. eBay Motors was another meaningful contributor in Q2, contributing nearly 2 points of GMV growth. Our motors, parts, and accessories business continues to benefit from eBay's unmatched breadth and depth of inventory as we expand our selection of new, used, and recycled parts across our major markets. In Q2, we launched easy and free returns in the UK, which strengthens buyer confidence and improves conversion as buyers shop for auto parts on eBay. In Canada, we launched Guaranteed Fit, extending fitment protection to a 5th eBay market. We also brought automated fitment capabilities to Canadian sellers, which augments their listing with vehicle compatibility data so buyers can discover a broader selection of relevant parts and shop with greater confidence. Our vehicles GMV also continues to scale rapidly, with particularly strong growth among C2C sellers and smaller dealers. In Q2, we launched native vehicle listing in the eBay mobile app, driving a notable increase in C2C inventory. We are also using AI and automation to simplify the transaction process, including verifying title, VIN, and odometer images against verified DMV records and sale documentation with significantly less manual intervention. Alongside broader process improvements, this has helped reduce the average time to vehicle pickup from over 2 weeks to roughly 4 days. By making it easier to list, verify, and complete a secure transaction, we are improving the customer experience and supporting continued momentum in GMV. Fashion also contributed positively to GMV growth, led by luxury and pre-loved inventory. In Q2, we expanded Authenticity Guarantee to cover more than 100 apparel, footwear, and accessory brands across the US and UK, and began testing optional authentication across a broader range of price points to extend trust to more C2C fashion inventory. We also extended Authenticity Guarantee eligibility to jewelry sourced from Greater China. Combined with eBay's breadth of inventory and AI-powered selling tools, these investments are strengthening our position in pre-loved and luxury fashion on the eBay platform. Last week, we completed our acquisition of Depop. I'm excited to officially welcome the Depop team and community to eBay. Depop joins us with incredible momentum and strengthens our leadership positions in C2C and recommerce while extending our reach with a younger generation of buyers and sellers. It is also highly complementary to eBay's existing fashion business. eBay offers broad global selection across pre-loved and authenticated luxury, while Depop brings a social-forward and discovery-led experience with particular strength in pre-loved fashion inventory at accessible price points. These complementary strengths allow the combined company to serve a broader range of consumers and unlock more of the inventory sitting in closets around the world. As we look at ways to support Depop's outstanding growth, our first priority is to maintain the brand, community, and product experience that make Depop special, while helping the team accelerate its existing roadmap. At the same time, we see clear opportunities to use eBay's scale and capabilities to support Depop's growth, including introducing Depop to relevant customers on eBay to stimulate demand, making shipping more affordable and convenient, and offering our expertise in trust and marketplace safety. We are still in the early days of bringing these complementary businesses together, but believe the strategic fit is compelling. Pairing Depop's differentiated audience and user experience with eBay's scaled global user base and marketplace capabilities allows us to build on our established strengths in fashion, broaden our reach with younger consumers, and unlock more of our total addressable market in C2C and recommerce. Our acquisition of Depop builds on the strong consumer selling momentum across eBay's core marketplace, as C2C GMV grew by over 20% in Q2, outpacing overall GMV. C2C GMV continued to grow in mix in the US, our largest market for consumer selling, driven by healthy double-digit growth in both sellers and supply. Collectibles, electronics, and fashion were the largest contributors to this continued momentum, while the latest generation of Magical Listing is further accelerating consumer supply by making it dramatically easier to list and sell on eBay. In the UK, C2C GMV trends were particularly strong, supported by broad-based supply growth and continued outperformance in focus categories. Active sellers reached their highest level since 2023, while UK C2C GMV saw its strongest growth in many years outside the pandemic period. In Germany, we're seeing healthy growth in C2C GMV as we intentionally shift investment toward the categories and experiences where eBay has the strongest right to win. That transition may create some near-term pressure on overall GMV and buyers in Germany as we continue to navigate a challenging macro backdrop. But we are seeing encouraging early results from this pivot that suggest it will increase penetration of strategic GMV and strengthen the long-term health of this market. In Australia, we saw an acceleration in C2C GMV growth to double digits, which helped the region overall post its strongest growth in several years during Q2. New and reactivated listers, listing creation rates, and other leading KPIs have notably increased since we launched our Australian C2C initiative in May, providing encouraging early evidence that our enhanced value proposition is resonating with consumers. Taken together, these initiatives are bringing differentiated supply onto eBay by unlocking inventory in consumers' homes and strengthening the sell-to-buy flywheel on eBay. Importantly, our analysis suggests that Depop's success in C2C has been incremental to our own, further validating the significant untapped opportunity in recommerce globally. Now, let's turn to eBay Live, which posted another record quarter as GMV grew by roughly 8x year over year in Q2, alongside rapid growth in viewers, watch time, and sold items. Based on our growth and available market benchmarks, we believe eBay Live is gaining share across all 7 markets where it operates. In July, we took a major step toward unlocking the next phase of growth for eBay Live as we move beyond our invite-only model and launch self-service onboarding for eligible U.S. sellers across more than 300 categories, with additional markets expected to follow in the coming weeks and months. This creates a direct, scalable on-ramp for live sellers and inventory while maintaining the trust standards that differentiate eBay. From a product perspective, we continue to improve eBay Live for both buyers and sellers. New discovery surfaces across the eBay homepage and mobile app make relevant events easier for buyers to find, while simpler event setup, inventory preparation, and live item management reduce the workload for sellers. We have also improved bidding responsiveness, making events faster and more seamless for participants. Importantly, we're seeing eBay Live's benefits extend beyond each event. Among established sellers who stream regularly, over 90% grow their GMV on eBay, and the median GMV increase for live sellers is roughly 3 times that of similar sellers who do not use Live. And we're seeing similar results on the buyer side. For instance, first-time live buyers shopping in collectibles are spending approximately 70% more than comparable non-live buyers, with roughly half of the incremental spend occurring outside of live events. These results reinforce our confidence that Live can deepen engagement, broaden discovery, and increase velocity across the broader eBay marketplace. Next, I'll discuss how we're leveraging AI to reimagine the buying and selling experiences on an ongoing basis. For sellers, the next generation of our magical listing experience is making selling on eBay dramatically easier by leveraging AI and our product knowledge graph to do most of the hard work on their behalf. We have now fully ramped the latest generation of magical listing to all new and reactivated listers in the UK, Germany, and Australia, and are seeing compelling uplift on key KPIs directionally similar to what we observed in the US. Australia is our first market where we have released the latest magical listing experience to all C2C sellers, an important step toward extending these benefits to our broader seller base. In Q2, we began integrating enhanced pricing guidance into magical listing to help sellers balance velocity and price realization, and we improved the accuracy of package size estimates to help manage shipping costs more efficiently. For buyers, our agentic search pilot reinforced the value of natural language understanding in helping customers uncover more of the products they'll love within eBay's 2.6 billion listings. We are now working to bring more natural language capabilities into core search to deliver greater density of relevant results, while developing more conversational multi-turn experiences in the parts of the shopping journey where they add the most value. These innovations build on eBay's structural advantages: 30 years of commercially relevant data, tens of billions of cumulative listings and product images, and our ability to train and deploy AI models efficiently on our private cloud infrastructure. Shipping services are becoming an increasingly important part of our platform and a meaningful enabler of marketplace velocity. By leveraging our scale and carrier relationships, we can reduce cost and complexity, strengthen trust, and make lower-priced transactions more economical to further unlock our TAM. In the UK, the majority of C2C transactions go through our managed shipping program, where we continue to expand our pickup and drop-off capabilities. Through our partnerships with InPost and Royal Mail, buyers and sellers can access approximately 50,000 lockers and parcel shops nationwide. With 95% of UK buyers now living within 1 kilometer of a pickup or drop-off location, this network offers a convenient, lower-cost alternative to home delivery, particularly for lower ASP inventory. We recently announced that eBay International Shipping will also launch in the UK later this month. Following successful launches of this program in the US and Canada, eligible UK sellers will now have access to over 190 countries with lower shipping costs and a simpler end-to-end experience with customs, returns, and international delivery, all managed by eBay. Before closing, I'd like to share a few highlights on eBay's impact. In May, we published our 2025 Impact Report, which showcased the measurable progress made over the last year from maintaining 100% renewable energy used across our operations to growing positive economic impact through e-commerce and strengthening community support through programs like eBay for Charity and the eBay Foundation. Through eBay for Charity, buyers and sellers raised $58 million for charities in Q2. This included an auction for a private lunch with Warren Buffett and Steph and Aisha Curry. The winning bid exceeded $9 million, and matching contributions from Mr. Buffett brought the total raised to $27 million for the Glide and Eat, Learn, Play organizations. We also partnered with The Late Show with Stephen Colbert to auction iconic memorabilia from the Ed Sullivan Theater during the show's final season, raising more than $2 million for World Central Kitchen. eBay was also recognized by the Wall Street Journal as one of the best companies for the future, and by the U.S. News & World Report as one of the best companies to work for, reflecting how our culture and commitment to impact support our long-term success. In closing, Q2 was another strong quarter, with broad-based growth across our strategic priorities. Focus categories, C2C, and recommerce each grew more than 20% and now represent more than 70% of our total GMV. Our emerging growth vectors are scaling quickly and becoming more material. eBay Live grew by roughly 8x year over year in Q2. Vehicles GMV is growing rapidly as we improve the end-to-end transaction experience, and shipping is lowering costs and friction across domestic and cross-border transactions. AI is delivering measurable impact across both sides of our marketplace. Magical Listing is streamlining listing creation and bringing more C2C inventory onto eBay, while AI enhancements to search and discovery are helping buyers more easily find the most relevant items across our 2.6 billion listings. The addition of Depop broadens our fashion portfolio and expands our reach with younger consumers, strengthening our position in C2C and recommerce. And finally, we continue to balance investments in long-term growth with disciplined execution. Q2 once again demonstrated our ability to invest behind our strategic priorities while still delivering strong growth in operating income and in EPS. I want to thank our employees for the continued execution and our global community of sellers and buyers for their trust and partnership. With that, I'll turn the call over to Peggy to provide more details on our financial performance and outlook. Peggy, over to you.
Thank you, Jamie, and hello, everyone. In the second quarter, we exceeded expectation across all of our key financial metrics. GMV grew by 14% to $22.4 billion. Revenue grew 14% to $3.13 billion. Non-GAAP operating income grew 16% year over year to $893 million. And non-GAAP earnings per share grew 17% year over year to $1.60. We also continued our commitment to capital returns, delivering nearly $450 million to shareholders through repurchases and cash dividends. Now let's dive deeper into the numbers. GMV grew 14% to $22.4 billion on an organic FX neutral basis, while inorganic contributions were not material in the quarter. Foreign exchange provided a tailwind of nearly 1 point to spot GMV growth. Our Q2 growth was driven by the sustained and broad-based momentum across our strategic priorities, consistent with last quarter. Focus category GMV grew 26% and outpaced the remainder of our marketplace by 20 percentage points, with collectibles, motors, fashion, and refurbished all contributing. The breadth of this performance reinforces our confidence that our strategy is working, and our momentum is not dependent on any one category. Next, let's look at how our major geographies performed. Our U.S. business delivered another great quarter in Q2, with GMV up 24% as our investments in focus categories, C2C, live, and shipping are paying off. For instance, collectibles growth in Q2 was strong beyond trading cards as coins, comics, and sports memorabilia all grew at a double-digit rate. Both parts and accessories and vehicles contributed to our eBay Motors GMV growth. And our U.S. fashion business also posted double-digit GMV growth, led by luxury-focused categories, including handbags, jewelry, watches, and apparel. International GMV growth improved to 4% year-over-year in the second quarter on an organic FX-neutral basis, with foreign exchange providing a 160 basis point tailwind to spot growth. The investments we are making in focus categories in C2C in our international markets are working, as GMV growth in both areas grew in the double digits in Q2, helping offset the continued weaker macroeconomic conditions in these regions. GMV growth in the UK, Germany, Australia, and Canada also improved sequentially. Moving on to our buyer metrics. Active buyers grew nearly 2% to 136 million on a trailing 12-month basis, including buyers from recently acquired ties. We are seeing particularly strong growth in the U.S., where active buyers increased 6% in Q2. Enthusiast buyers totaled 16 million and grew by nearly 3% year-over-year, and spend per enthusiast buyer increased to approximately $3,600 on a trailing 12-month basis. In the U.S., our enthusiast buyer growth accelerated to 9% year-over-year in Q2. Shifting to our income statement. Revenue grew 14% to $3.13 billion on an organic FX-neutral basis. Foreign exchange provided a tailwind of approximately 1 point to spot revenue growth. Our Q2 take rate was flat year-over-year at 14%. Tailwinds from advertising, shipping, and financial services were offset by ongoing category and ASP mix shifts, as well as faster growth in earlier stage businesses like eBay Live. Advertising, shipping, and financial services create value beyond direct monetization. Ads help sellers improve visibility and sales velocity, while shipping and financial services reduce transactional friction, expand choice, and strengthen trust. In Q2, total advertising revenue was $596 million, representing GMV penetration of nearly 2.7%. First-party ads grew 24% to $570 million. Promoted listings comprise nearly 1.3 billion of the 2.6 billion total listings on eBay, and 5.7 million sellers adopted at least one promoted listing product during the quarter. In addition, off-platform ads grew 21%, primarily driven by strong growth in our Q10 business in Japan. We continue to see a long runway for advertising growth, driven by increasing ad relevance, seller adoption, and listing penetration. In Q2, we made it simpler for C2C sellers to promote all of their inventory within our mobile apps. We also rolled out updated relevance models across CPC ads and recommendation surfaces, helping sellers drive more velocity while preserving the buyer experience. Within financial services, we continue to expand buyer choice, reduce friction, and improve the economics of our payment flows. Pay by Bank in the UK is a great example of how a better customer experience can also improve our economics. This payment method is now fully ramped in the UK and is showing encouraging early adoption, with average order value nearly twice the site average alongside lower cost of payments. eBay Balance also continues to gain traction across the US, UK, and Germany, allowing sellers to use their proceeds for purchases on eBay while reducing payment costs. These capabilities are part of a broader wallet strategy designed to deepen our financial relationship with our most engaged customers over time. Additionally, revenue from eBay shipping programs grew double digits in the second quarter. As Jamie noted, we continue to expand our range of domestic and international shipping programs while integrating more lower-cost delivery options within them to improve affordability for buyers and sellers. Turning to our profitability and earnings. Non-GAAP gross margin was 74.1% in Q2, up 1 point year-over-year. Our non-GAAP operating income grew 16% to $893 million, reflecting healthy flow-through from our GMV outperformance alongside incremental investments within our strategic priority areas. Sales and marketing expense increased in Q2 as we saw opportunities to invest across the funnel with attractive ROI to drive GMV growth, with incremental spending focused on strategic areas like C2C and eBay Live. We continued to see strong efficiency in our lower funnel campaigns, even as we began to lap a notable step up in efficiency in the prior year midway through the quarter. Alongside other operational efficiencies, we also saw a moderation in transaction losses sequentially as a result of our team's work to optimize our newer shipping programs and customer experience, with further progress expected in the second half of the year. Our strong operating performance translated into non-GAAP earnings per share of $1.60, up 17%, and GAAP earnings per share of $1.21. Shifting to our balance sheet and capital allocation. We generated free cash flow of $326 million in Q2 and ended the period with cash and fixed income investments of $4.9 billion and gross debt of $6.7 billion on our balance sheet. Our equity investments and warrants were valued at roughly $780 million. We repurchased $310 million of eBay shares in the second quarter at an average price of approximately $104. The pace of repurchases in Q2 was influenced by share price volatility during the quarter, which impacted our pre-established repurchase programs. We also paid a quarterly cash dividend of $138 million in June, or 31 cents per share. On July 30th, we closed the acquisition of Depop for $1.4 billion in cash, reflecting the purchase price of $1.2 billion and approximately $200 million of net purchase price adjustments. The purchase price adjustments mainly reflected certain investments that Etsy and Depop made prior to the acquisition close. Next, I will share some thoughts on our outlook, starting with the third quarter. Please reference the earnings presentation accompanying our release for our outlook in spot growth terms and foreign exchange implications. We expect consolidated GMV between $22 and $22.4 billion in Q3, including the impact of recently acquired Depop, which represents total FX neutral growth between 10 and 12% year over year, or organic growth between 7 and 9%. Our guidance implies Depop would contribute approximately 2.5 percentage points to total FX neutral GMV growth in a partial quarter. Our consolidated GMV guidance implies continued broad-based growth from the core eBay marketplace as our strategic priorities continue to drive durable growth across multiple categories. The implied year-over-year deceleration from Q2 to Q3 is primarily due to the lapping dynamics we have discussed in recent quarters, which we started to observe in July as expected. In contrast, our outlook contemplates an acceleration in Depop's year-over-year GMV growth versus Q2 on a pro forma basis, driven in part by the effectiveness of recent marketing and shipping investments. We forecast consolidated revenue to be between $3.07 and $3.12 billion in the third quarter, which represents total FX neutral growth between 8 and 10% year over year, or organic growth between approximately 7 and 9%. We expect Depop to contribute approximately 1.5 percentage points to total FX neutral revenue growth, which is lower than its contribution to GMV growth, primarily because a significant portion of our planned shipping investment will be recognized as contra revenue. We have seen strong buyer response to improve shipping affordability, including higher customer acquisition and transaction velocity, particularly at more accessible price points. We believe this investment can unlock a larger addressable market in C2C fashion, and we will continue to calibrate it based on the returns we observe. We expect consolidated non-GAAP operating income growth to be between 1 and 5% year over year in Q3, which implies non-GAAP operating margin between 25.1 and 25.6%. This includes an expected 3 to 4 point headwind to non-GAAP operating income growth from Depop. Our outperformance in the first half has created incremental capacity to invest behind strategic priorities where we are seeing strong returns, including C2C, eBay Live, and our shipping roadmap, while continuing to drive healthy flow-through from the core business. We are also investing behind Depop's strong momentum and the significant opportunity we see in C2C and a younger customer demographic. Importantly, a portion of this investment is being funded by allocating existing marketing spend to Depop, which mitigates the incremental pressure on consolidated operating income. We believe we are striking the right balance by investing behind our strongest growth opportunities where we expect attractive returns while continuing to deliver healthy consolidated earnings growth. We forecast consolidated non-GAAP earnings per share between $1.36 and $1.42 in Q3, which implies year-over-year growth between 1% and 5%. This includes an expected mid-single-digit headwind to non-GAAP EPS growth from Depop, with the impact to EPS being modestly higher than operating income due to foregone interest income on the cash used for this transaction. Shifting to our full-year outlook, we are now planning our business around consolidated year-over-year GMV growth between 11.5% and 12.5% on an FX-neutral basis, driven by our established strategic priorities, emerging growth vectors like eBay Live and Vehicles, and our acquisition of Depop. This includes an expected contribution of roughly 1.5 percentage points from Depop and assumes its GMV growth will accelerate by double-digit percentage points in the second half of this year versus Q2 on a pro forma basis, reflecting Depop's strong momentum. We expect consolidated full-year revenue growth to be roughly 0.5 point below GMV growth on an FX-neutral basis, or between 11% and 12% year-over-year, as healthy growth in advertising and shipping revenue is expected to be offset by mix shifts in our business, including higher growth contributions from Live and Vehicles and the impact of the Depop acquisition. We expect Depop to contribute roughly 1 percentage point to consolidated revenue growth. We now expect consolidated non-GAAP operating income growth between 10% and 12% year-over-year in 2026, which contemplates a stronger outlook for operating income growth driven by the core eBay marketplace, while Depop is expected to be roughly 2 percentage point headwind to growth. We expect full-year consolidated non-GAAP earnings per share growth between 10% and 12% year-over-year, with Depop representing roughly 2.5 percentage points of dilution to our non-GAAP EPS. We anticipate our lower cash balance and higher interest expense would pressure the net interest and other line item year-over-year, partially offsetting the tailwind from our share repurchases. We continue to expect a non-GAAP tax rate of 17.5% for the full year, which is 1 percentage point higher than our tax rate in 2025. Our capital allocation outlook remains unchanged. We forecast capital expenditures to be between 4% and 5% of revenue for the full year. We continue to target roughly $2 billion of share repurchases for the full year and plan to increase our quarterly repurchase rate from Q2. In addition, our board declared a quarterly cash dividend of 31 cents per share for the third quarter to be paid in September. In closing, Q2 was another strong quarter that clearly demonstrated the power of our strategy. Broad-based momentum across our strategic priorities delivered outperformance on both the top and bottom lines. We enter the second half of the year in a strong position, with our improved full-year outlook reflecting the momentum we see across focused categories, C2C, and re-commerce. We are confident in our strategy and focused on driving durable, profitable growth for our shareholders. With that, Jamie and I will now take your questions.
We will now begin Q&A. For today's session, we'll be utilizing the raise hand feature. If you'd like to ask a question, simply click on the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. Once you've been called on, please unmute yourself and begin to ask your question. Please limit to one question and one follow-up before jumping back in the queue. Thank you. We will now pause a moment to assemble the queue. Your first question comes from the line of Colin Sebastian with Baird. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Great, thank you, and appreciate the questions. I guess first off, I mean, you talked about higher engagement of eBay Live buyers, and I was hoping you could perhaps explain a little bit more about how this can resonate across the broader platform, how extensible this is to other categories and a larger buyer base. And then secondly, Jamie, on the AI-powered discovery and listing tools, those seem fairly well utilized now across the marketplace. What's the next frontier for AI on eBay, or untapped opportunity, I guess, if it's seller-side automation or search and discovery or something else? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, Colin. So first off, on live buyers, what's exciting to see is the synergies between our core marketplace and on eBay Live. So when we look at buyers that start shopping in Live, they're spending 70% more than comparable buyers that are not shopping on Live. And it's great to see like the engagement that we're getting, the increased views, et cetera, saving sellers and driving that engagement. And so, you know, we put up some healthy buyer numbers this quarter, and it's great to see kind of what's happening with Live. It's a really nice halo. We're seeing the same type of thing on the seller side, where our sellers that are doing Live are seeing faster growth because of their participation in Live. You know, on Magical Listings, we're really excited. I mean, now it's been, you know, hundreds of millions of listings that are out there. We've expanded it now across our major geographies across US, UK, and Germany. We just added it to Australia. And we continue to see great reaction from sellers, faster listing times, stronger repeat behavior, and significantly more sold items in GMV per listing attempter. And that's leading to a measurable uplift on C2C sellers and supply. And, you know, we talked about the success we're seeing in C2C. The next step is to expand that to all C2C sellers, because it's right now just to new and reactivated sellers. And so Australia is the first market where we're doing that. In fact, starting this month, we've expanded that to all C2C sellers, and we'll learn a lot through that market to keep expanding it. You know, broadly, you know, beyond selling, we continue to, you know, apply our 30 years of data to lots of different areas. AI is being helpful to us in advertising. It's really helping us drive our search experience and our search conversion with what we're doing there. We're using it in our CRM materials to be much more targeted, and we're seeing much more engagement there. So really across the board, we're seeing it. But in terms of Magical Listings, we've still got a lot more penetration to go to drive to increase the experience and continue to drive our listings growth with it.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Michael Morton with MoffettNathanson. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for all the context on the planned investments in the C2C business and the Depop acquisition. Big picture, I was wondering what your outlook is for the competitive intensity in this market, I would say in the US, but also internationally. C2C is accelerating, but that's not a secret, and there are several players making aggressive investments in that. And then my second question, maybe just a boring accounting one. For eBay Motors, when you speak to eBay Motors and you talk about it contributing 2% of GMV growth, I just want to make sure that's not including parts and accessories. And if it is just eBay Motors, as in vehicles, can you kind of help us understand that growth rate that's organic, more volume, versus being able to be measured due to the Carmel integration where you can kind of guarantee that the transaction occurred? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take the first one. So, you know, first on the opportunity there, we see a huge underpenetrated opportunity in C2C fashion in the US market. And the market growth we're seeing really validates the size of that opportunity. We're coming at this from a real position of strength. eBay has a over $10 billion business in fashion, and C2C GMV is growing faster than our overall US business. And now we've added Depop, which brings an established brand, a discovery-led product experience, and a strong reach with younger consumers. And when you look at it, both eBay and Depop delivered very strong growth in Q2, suggesting that Depop's momentum was incremental to ours, and the addressable market is expanding. So we're really focused on using these complementary value propositions to unlock substantially more consumer supply and capture more of the significant untapped market opportunity in C2C and in e-commerce. Peggy, do you want to take the Motors question?
Sure. Thanks for the question, Mike. So for eBay Motors, that includes both parts and accessories and vehicles. The majority of it is parts and accessories, since that's the established piece of it. Vehicles is earlier stage, but becoming a larger contribution to overall Motors and to the company overall. And obviously, the acquisition of Caramel has just really improved the user experience and the ability to list vehicles. And, sort of have an all-in offering, which is helping the growth of the Motors business, vehicles specifically, but also, with parts and accessories being very complementary to the vehicles business.
Appreciate it.
Your next question comes from the line of Ken Gorelski with Wells Fargo. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Yes. Sorry about that. I had to unmute. Could we talk a little bit more about Depop and the opportunity there? Could you talk a little bit about ongoing marketing intensity? There's a new market entrant in the US. You've faced this market entrant in Europe, UK, Germany, other European markets. Could you talk about, what you learned from those lessons, what you might apply to what you see here in the US, and talk about using Depop, as a kind of an offensive weapon relative to maybe the tactics you used in the UK and Germany. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take that. So look, when you look at the U.S. Consumer, first, eBay brings a really strong U.S. C2C business. It's one of our strongest area. But when you look at the U.S. market, we believe that the pre-loved closet, if you will, is even underpenetrated relative to other markets. So we see a massive TAM, and that TAM is generally and is broadly incremental to kind of TAM that we've seen on the eBay business before. So when you look at it, fashion, C2C, and e-commerce were already important drivers to eBay's growth before the acquisition. But Depop brings, a fast-growing established brand, community, a great sell-to-buy flywheel, and a real discovery-led product experience that also expands their reach with younger consumers. In a world of limited resources, they decided to focus their efforts on the U.S. market, and it's been performing very well. If you look at the time of the acquisition, Ken, they had 7 million buyers. By the end of Q2, they had 9 million buyers. And we see, the opportunity to combine that with eBay's scaled demand, our trust, our shipping capabilities, our marketplace infrastructure that can really help them capture more of that untapped opportunity. So we're really excited. Our analysis suggests that C2C secondhand fashion only has, low single-digit online penetration today, compared to significantly higher in Europe. And so we're excited to kind of go after that TAM and leverage the investments. Peggy, do you want to talk more about how we're thinking about the marketing side?
Yeah, the investments that we're making are primarily within full funnel marketing and shipping affordability. It's important to note that some of our planned investments in Depop are being funded by deploying existing eBay C2C and fashion marketing dollars. It doesn't translate incrementally to expenses overall for eBay. The shipping investments are coming in the way of tiered buyer-facing incentives that reduce the all-in cost of a purchase, which is particularly important for lower ASP fashion, where shipping can represent a meaningful portion of the total price. So by increasing the affordability at a broader range of price points, we're seeing increased conversion, more customer acquisition, converting those buyers into enthusiasts. And so we're really seeing that the ROI of that investment is worth the investment. And overall, we were able to do this all within a very healthy financial architecture overall for eBay.
Could I ask one follow-up, please, if you don't mind? Just as you think about, the tactics employed in Western Europe, it ultimately ended up in commission changes from a seller to a buyer fee in the UK, and then a complete reduction in the fee, I think, or elimination in the fee in Germany. What's your level of confidence that that the tactics you're employing now will be more effective in the U.S.? I completely appreciate what you're saying, and that you have a much stronger platform here to fight with. But could you please just touch on those points for us, please?
Yeah, as it relates to the U.S., we have no current plans to change, the fees as it relates to eBay. Depop already has a buyer fee model, which is, complementary to kind of that discovery-led type of experience, and so that's kind of built into that pricing change. They made that change quite some time ago. And so overall, we feel like we're in a very strong competitive position. When you look at the combination of the scale and the capabilities that we've built, the strength that we have in our eBay fashion business, combined with this high growth, well-established brand that really appeals to younger consumers, we feel very, very strong. I had a huge group of interns here this summer, and, I went around and said, how many of you use Depop? And almost every hand went up. And they talked about how much they love the experience, the high customer satisfaction, the sell to buy flywheel. And I think that's why it's such a strong and growing brand. And I'm excited. I mean, it's only a couple days into the acquisition, but I'm really excited to kind of be able to unlock more and more of the synergies that we've talked about to this real hyper growth asset that's now part of eBay.
Thank you so much.
Your next question comes from the line of Ross Sandler with Barclays. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Thanks, guys. Maybe shifting gears to core eBay X Depop. So we're about to lap some of the kind of non-durable items that you guys have talked about in the past. Yet the 3Q and the implied kind of 4Q GMV looks like it's just shy of 10% kind of organic. So just curious for an update on some of those lapping dynamics. It seems like we're broadening out a bit across these focus categories, and so maybe some of that non-durable is becoming more durable. Just curious to hear what's going on with the consumer and your increased confidence in this growth rate in back half. Thanks a lot.
Peggy, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So first, on your question about lapping dynamics, in Q3, some of the dynamics in Q3 will be lapping a full quarter of last year's benefit from the launch of our U.S. Klarna partnership, as opposed to only a partial quarter in Q2. We also will continue to lap last year's marketing efficiency gains from a favorable competitive environment. And then for the core marketplace, excluding Depop, we believe that a year-over-2-year comparison provides a clearer view. You can really see the lapping dynamics that way. And on that basis, our outlook implies a Q3 GMV growth that's still quite healthy. When we think about the second half in total, so the whole second half of the year, beyond the lapping dynamics, we expect and this is baked in, a deceleration in Pokémon growth as we lap last year's triple-digit growth with tougher year-over-year comparisons in the second half. And then beginning in Q4, we'll start to lap the strength in the bullion demand, which we flagged in late 25 and early 26. So outside of that, we believe that the majority of our growth is durable, and we remain very confident about the underlying strength of our business, which is what drove us to raise our full-year outlook. And, in that, we've considered a variety of scenarios as it relates to the macro and economic environment. We're not expecting any significant change that we've baked in, and all of that is included in our confidence in raising the full year.
Your next question comes from the line of Deepak Mathivanan with Cantor Fitzgerald. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Right. Thanks for taking the questions. Jamie, can I ask about eBay Live? Basically, we've seen growth, approximately 7 to 8x year on year over the last few quarters. Any incremental color you can provide on penetration in terms of seller or buyer participation? How are you, now increasingly using AI to make merchandising live easier? And then second question, maybe for Peggy on marketing reallocation from core to Bebop. Are there certain pockets that are discretionary in core that you think can be reallocated to Bebop, over the next few quarters? Any additional insights you can provide on what those dollars would be? Thanks so much.
Yeah, look, I think we're really excited because eBay Live is growing, as you said, 7-8x year over year. And to date, it's kind of been more of a, invite only type of program. And starting just this past month, we actually moved it to a self-service type of thing. So we're going to keep kind of the same high trust bar that we have on the platform, but making it easier for sellers to come into the platform and onboard there. And we see that, as I talked about up front, it's really strengthening sellers' businesses when they come on. So sellers who stream regularly see more visits than comparable sellers. And so it's really driving that. You've also seen us doing a lot more demand scaling, whether that's, the paid social things that we're doing, working with our sellers, increasing the prominence of live on the overall kind of website and app. When you look at it, we're actually taking share in all 7 markets. We just had this great activation at the National, which is the largest collectibles trade show. And, we were there with Logan Paul and Ken Golden, hosting lives, et cetera. Ron Gronkowski did one. And we're really kind of happy with the growth that we're seeing, but I'm also really excited for these new demand drivers and opening up sellers kind of more broadly on the marketplace. Peggy, do you want to take the second one?
Sure. One of the things that we've been focused on for a while now is really a discipline around OpEx and efficiency with a focus on delivering sustainable growth in operating income and earnings per share. We've been executing on a strategy where we're really focused on balancing investment in GMV and revenue growth while also improving operating margin and return to capital in order to get that mix right. And so when we think about Depop, we feel like over time, eBay's scale, marketing expertise, carrier relationships, shipping technology are all areas that are going to help us convert today's growth investment into a structurally better unit economic model. And, that's what gave us the confidence to say that Depop is going to become accretive to consolidated non-GAAP operating income in 2028. And so what's great about the way we're investing is that there's a lot of synergies between eBay and Depop. And so that enables us to really focus our investment in areas that are going to allow us to capture a growing TAM in the fashion C2C business. And so that's where we're able to continue to get efficiency to invest in the top line.
Your next question comes from the line of Tom Champion with Piper. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Jamie, maybe to begin with you, it's been quite a journey in GMV growth from post-COVID to now. And I'm just curious if you could take a step back and frame for us what you think the GMV growth opportunity is, maybe on a longer term basis. Is there a back of the envelope or heuristic that you go back to? And then maybe, Peggy, for you, I'm just curious if you could talk about active buyer growth and the prospects for that relative to the 2% we've seen the last couple quarters. I think you referenced some stronger enthusiast buyer growth recently. Any comments on that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, Tom. Good to talk to you. So if you look at, our growth right now, it's really kind of broad-based and across the board, which speaks to kind of the durability. I'd say specifically to your question, if you look at the 2-year stack for the second half of the year, it's a good indicator of the durable underlying strength of our marketplace, which I think, compares very well to benchmarks. The other thing I'd say is that, we are taking share in focus categories in C2C and in eBay Live. And every quarter, our strategic priorities are growing in mix. So these tailwinds are influencing more of our total marketplace growth. And, it's great to see now that 70% of our GMV is driven in these strategic areas of the business. And we're seeing that, over 20% growth in our focus categories and in recommerce and C2C, which makes me feel great about the durability of the growth that you're seeing in the business. Peggy, do you want to take the buyer question?
Sure. Yeah, we were very encouraged to see global active buyers grow 2% year over year to 136 million in Q2. In addition, enthusiast buyers grew by nearly 3% year over year, with average spend per enthusiast buyer also growing to $3,600. We've seen that buyer trends in the US have been even stronger. We've seen growth in active buyers at plus 6% year over year. And in the US, enthusiast buyers up 9%. And we're seeing strength across buyer counts, cohort mix, engagement, spend trends. And so what's been nice also is that, we talked about the synergies of the Depop business. Depop had approximately 7 million buyers on a trailing 12-month basis when we announced the acquisition, and had close to 9 million active buyers in Q2. And we feel that these are very additive to the active buyer base. And so we're excited to include them in our buyer count starting in Q3.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Michael McGovern with Bank of America. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to ask about the advertising penetration. I saw it ticked up to 2.7% in the quarter, still seeing really strong growth. But as we get closer to that 3% target, is there a time frame for when we might see ad growth converge a little bit with GMV growth? And is that 3% a ceiling, or can you continue to push beyond that? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Mike. Look, Q2 is another strong quarter for ads growth at 23% FX neutral growth. And it was really across all of our 1P ad products, which grew 24%, CPA, CPC, and offsite ads. As you said, it now represents 2.7%. But we've always said that 3% is just a midterm goal, and that we continue to believe that our advertising revenue will outpace the growth of the business, the growth of GMV. And we continue to have multiple levers, including seller adoption, listings penetration, ad rate optimization, as well as scaling new products. And, we've been bringing AI technologies in, both on the ability to improve the yield that our sellers are getting on the ad placements, but also to just improve the overall experience from the seller side, to leverage AI for recommendations, for campaign building, for suggestions on their dashboard. And that's performing well. So we continue to believe we have a nice long runway for advertising growth.
Operator, can we do one more question, please?
Go for it.
Do we want to take one more question, operator?
Your next question comes from the line of Nikhil Devnani with Bernstein. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Great. Thanks for squeezing me in. I wanted to ask a couple. First, just on the GMV strength, is it possible to deconstruct the contribution from order volume strength versus ASP dynamics? And then secondly, maybe one for Peggy. If you just put aside Depop and we think about core eBay, have you pulled forward or accelerated various investment efforts over the past year against the stronger top line you've had? I'm just trying to put your overall EBIT algo into broader context of your investment mandates. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take the first one. So, when I look at the GMV growth, it's really balanced, which is great to see. It's balanced across buyers, frequency, sold items, and ASP. And those ASP changes are really about mix. It's really about, think about some of our focus categories growing faster on the platform overall. And so, what I would just highlight is, the growth is super durable across the board when you look at focus categories, C2C, recommerce, and across the different elements that make up GMV, which give us a lot of conviction about the durability. Peggy, do you want to take the second one?
Of course, yes. We have taken the opportunity for the last several quarters that when we outperform on the top line, which we have been, that we reinvest a portion of that so that we can continue to drive durable GMV growth ahead, and you see that in the results. And so we did that in the first half. We also plan to reinvest more of our top line performance in high return opportunities in the second half, which will also include investing in Depop, as we talked about. But, we're always focused on making sure that we're balancing, being able to invest in the top line long-term growth and having healthy flow through to the bottom line, which we'll continue to be focused on in the second half.
Yeah, if I take a step back, Nikhil, the strong growth we're seeing now across the board is really the results of, investments that we've made years ago. We invested in our focus categories. We built out these authentication capabilities, and they're now growing 26% on the site. A year ago, we bought Caramel and invested in vehicles and talked about the, run rate of hundreds of millions of dollars last quarter that we're seeing there. And so what we feel great about is we're able to drive this growth and this investment and still, return a really healthy financial architecture, raising our full year guide to have OI and EPS in the double-digit range, I think speaks to the power of our platform and our ability to invest in that long-term growth. So it's a formula that's been working for us, and we're gonna continue to move forward.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. This concludes today's call. You may now disconnect.
Boo! Boo! Not even a GameStop question? Come on. Come on. That's whack. That's whack. One funny little thing I saw in here, though. Like, their GMV's good. Revenue's good. Advertising revenue's good. But then there's non-GAAP operating income's good. Oh, they closed it! These sons of bitches. Oh, they didn't want me to expose them. They didn't want me to expose them, bro. They didn't want me to expose them. Where's that presentation? Is this it? Yeah. It's like, looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good. Non-GAAP earnings per share is down. Free cash flow is down quite a bit when you compare it to other quarters. Besides, well, I guess Q2 is just a bad quarter for them in general. But this is the one I thought was interesting. Their capital returns are down a lot. They're down a lot. That's crazy. You're almost down like 30, you're like 34-40% down from capital returns. So they're doing less buybacks. The dividends are about the same, but their buybacks are getting weaker. Or maybe it was just a bad quarter for buybacks. I don't know. Very weird. Very weird. Can I blow this up for the thumbnail? Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Alright. Well, that was lame. That was lame. Overall, a good call. Yeah, it was overall pretty good. What's up, Todd Hart? Alright. Is there anything else to talk about? It's been a long stream. Almost 3.5 hours. This is probably one of the longest streams we've done in a while. And, yeah. I was hoping someone would ask a question about GameStop on the Q&A, but didn't happen. It didn't happen, so. Does anyone in the chat have anything to talk about? Anyone? If you have something to talk about, throw it in the chat. But it might be time to hit the dusty old trail if nobody has anything to talk about. It's Wednesday, so... Whoa, what happened to the stream? That was weird. That was weird. Nothing much, all good. Yes, Elvis. I know, Elvis. I know you want to bring no value to my chat and no conversation, and you just want to repeat the same things you say every single time in your chat, and you're in my chat. Good for you, buddy. Try to bring some value to the chat, though. You've been here long enough. Like, you should just try to like bring some value to the chat. I don't know. Maybe just try like doing something positive, typing something valuable, anything than just repeating the same things you say every single time, because all the things you say are very irrelevant. We already made about 500 million on the position. Don't worry about Elvis Kalaluka. He's a troll. He likes getting people's reactions. He likes the attention, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Some people would rather be a troll and get attention instead of like bringing value to other people. I don't know why, but it is what it is, I guess. Some people don't get enough attention, so they gotta go on random YouTube live streams to try to get some attention. Whether it be through me or people in the chat. Elvis should give up on his pursuit of Corey. Interesting to see how Pokemon tapering off will affect their sales, since trading cards, I think, have been boosting them. As they mentioned, they predict a fall off. I mean, yeah, TCG is a big part of the business right now, but they sell toys, they sell, accessories for like board games and TCG, like they sell more than just trading cards in the collectible space. So, like, sure, I guess I get what you're saying, but I don't think it really will have that large of an effect. And honestly, like, nobody talks about this. This is something I have never seen anyone talk about. If you go to GameStop's website and you go to their cards, let's see, where is it? We go to Pokemon, we go to Pitch Black. Pitch Black booster box. GameStop's selling it for $300. Do you guys know how much a Pitch Black booster box is? I'll wait. You guys know how much a Pitch Black booster box is? I'll tell you it's not $300. I can tell you that. Anyone? Bueller? Nobody? Nobody knows how much a Pitch Black booster box is? Alright. Well, a Pitch Black booster box is $180. A Pitch Black booster box is $180. So, here, we'll double check. Let's double check real quick. Booster box. Pitch Black booster box. $189. It went from $250, $300 to $189. GameStop doesn't give a fuck about selling Pokemon. You want to know why? Because sitting on the product is more valuable than selling it. This Pitch Black booster box, even though it's $180 right now, in 3 to 5 years, this is going to be a $500 to $1,000 box. Most likely. So, I don't think GameStop has to sell Pokemon. Like, I don't think it's even valuable for them to sell Pokemon. At least the booster boxes. And, anything sealed is not valuable for GameStop to sell that product. It's way more valuable for GameStop to just sit on that product, because if it never sells, it's going to be worth substantially more in the future. And this is how it is for every booster box. Like, Where's the rest of the booster boxes? Chaos Rising booster box, $300. Perfect Order booster box, $300. Perfect Order is like 170. Chaos Rising's 180. Like, GameStop doesn't care if this product sells. That's why it's funny how people get so upset that they're selling it for so high. The reason why they're selling it for so high is because they don't need to sell it. At least, you know, that's my perspective. Why else would they be selling the Pitch Black booster box for $300 when it's only 190? Like, from my perspective, it really seems like they don't need to sell that product. You know, if someone wants to buy it, then, you know, they pay the premium and they buy it through GameStop. But obviously, you know, nobody's gonna pay $300 for a $180 booster box. So it's like, that's just how I view it. You know, I don't think GameStop's trying to sell that product. You know, they will sell that product, but I don't think they're actually trying to sell it. It seems, you know, from my perspective, it seems like they're trying to sit on the product. And if it does sell, you know, you get a 50-60% premium. Let's see. Elvis's value ended in the 70s. That's pretty funny. Elvis wants to stroke Corey's beard. They kept saying the magic word AI. If eBay goes up tomorrow or next month, it could pull GME along with it. Maybe. Is it the real Elvis? He loves Corey's attention. Can't believe I sat through the whole call. Nothing about GME. Makes me miss GME's quick and dirty calls where nothing of value is said. That was a standard earnings call, I would say. I was hoping someone would ask a question about GameStop, but I don't think they would have answered it anyway, so. And also, I don't think those earnings calls are live. I think they pre-record them. I don't know. I don't know for 100% fact. So, you know, if those are pre-recorded, maybe somebody did ask a question and they just cut it out. I think they're live, but I'm not 100% sure because a lot of them seem like they're pre-recorded. I like having these discussions, even if they don't engage in good faith. That's fair. It's just, you can't have a real discussion with Elvis because he's just a troll, and like I said, he's just trying to get attention, he's trying to get someone's reaction, which, you know, typical troll behavior. You just can't have a good conversation with someone like that, unfortunately. It would be nice, you know, it would be nice to have a good conversation with someone who's been watching my stream for the past, like, 6-7 years, but unfortunately, that's not possible. How much money do I got in GME? Not enough, but quite a bit. Done the DD, and GME is a ticking time bomb for hedge funds. Maybe. I think it's just a interesting investment. That's about it. A really interesting investment. Hold on, Nintendo Switch 2 inventory until price goes up like 3DS. Did you script break or go on repeat? Like I said, he's just trying to get a reaction. He write his own songs. He just stole Black Rhythm and Blues. You gotta with that shake, the leg shake. The leg shake. Interesting. So it's like they can list it as inventory, but really it's an asset they want to hold on. I'm trying to understand the accounting logic behind that. That's fascinating. I mean, that's just my perspective. Who knows if that's actually true, but it just wouldn't make sense why they would have a, $180 box listed at $300 if they wanted to sell it. Like, it just seems like they don't want to sell it. But, it'd be the same thing as just sitting on Bitcoin. Like, that's obviously you can't like sell options or do anything. You can sell it. You could sell the product, but I think it would just be similar to the Bitcoin, it's just chilling. And they probably value the assets at the lowest price possible, I would imagine. So even though the collector boxes are worth like a 180, the accounting is probably values it at MSRP or whatever they bought it at through the distributor. So yeah, I don't know really exactly either, but that's just what it seems like to me. It just seems like they're positioned to sit on that sealed product. Later, Kalaluka, have a good one. Later, Rec. So I just don't exist. That's cool. Oh, you exist. You exist. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, I think that's about it. I'm a GME ape myself. Well, I'm not a GME ape. I'm a GME investor. Someone who buys the stock, but I don't relate with GameStop apes. Not a super stonker, not a Redditor. Thanks for streaming. See ya. Hey, later yesterday in gaming. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you always bringing value to the chat. Appreciate you, bro. Unsubscribed. Good. Thank you. I don't want a moon man following me. I only like when real investors follow me. So, you can unsubscribe. That's fine. That's fine. I don't really care. Just know I have more shares than you, so. You call yourself a GME ape. I don't, but I have more shares than you. So, I don't know. Maybe just try being a normal person and not pretending to be a GameStop ape or whatever you want to call it. Just call yourself a normal person, a normal investor. Your name's Into the Deep I6C. I'm sure you have a real name, but that's who you are. You're not a GME ape. You're just some guy who's buying shares of GameStop. That's about it. That's about it. All right, chat. I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys. Shout out all my OGs, the people who've been watching the stream for a long time. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Except Elvis. Elvis, I don't appreciate you. Maybe one day you can come in here and bring some value to the chat and I'll appreciate you again, but I don't appreciate Elvis. But the rest of you guys, I appreciate you. If you're new here, thanks for giving the stream another chance. Hopefully we see you again. And yeah, I should be on stream tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I've been making videos pretty consistently, so I'll have a couple videos for you. And maybe I'll stream, but if not, I'll see you guys soon. Either on Friday or next week. I'll see you guys soon, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks for always supporting the stream. And new people, thanks for giving the stream a chance. And I will see you guys next time. Later, Elvis. Later, Johnny. Isaiah. Bobble. Later, Bobble. Have a good one, Deja Vu. Later, Yesterday in Gaming. Kalaluka. Rec. I don't know who else is here, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks for always supporting the stream. And I'll catch you guys next time. God bless ya. Peace.